Okay.
Added them to your Discord DMs for the time being, and you can add them in as an individual.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, we need to have someone who can do this. This segment. Do we have a segment?
Segment
Yeah.
Segments.
of what?
I don't know.
Welcome to
are we-
Roscoe's drinking corner.
Are
It's
we?
just a 10-minute.
I mean,
fucking ad
we
break.
should get like have someone to sponsor us shit, so we can like have some cool segments.
Oh yeah, we need to have Kyle in character read out the ad reads.
NordVPN.
You're afraid of Francis looking through your drawers, looking at Roscoe and have naughty thoughts. Don't
browsing
worry.
the internet is much like leaving your door unlocked when Francis is around. That's why I lock my doors with NordVPN.
Hey, I'm taking.
Guys, we have to specify this stream is not sponsored by NordVPN yet.
But
Yeah,
please
it's
sponsor
well-
us, everybody.
Oh
Brilliant.
god, that's funny.
I can t-
Somebody at NordVPN right now.
Yeah, on my way to just. NordVPN.
John VPN.
John VPN is calling. Will you pick up? Nat just at NordVPN in chat.
That's great.
Well, someone had to.
NordVPN does have
Yo,
a
we're
sure.
yapping but doing nothing about it.
I'm sure they will promptly respond. Thank you.
Ooh, I like this thing. Nice.
Alrighty. Everyone good to go?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really, but
Ready?
I will for you anyway.
Aw.
Oh well. I
That's one thing
appreciate
I've
that.
done for you tonight. Now, no hitting me with any abilities, thank you.
The first attack
you
roll
have
will
to
not
be
be
nice.
made against you. That's it.
Yippee!
Woohoo.
Oh dear. You poorly sick.
Asthmatic.
Ah.
The cold weather.
Yep. Okay.
In
Alrighty.
fact, we're about to cyberpunk reference right now.
Oh, she's using the air hypo. She's taking her asthma pump.
Well, that's fine.
Jamie and Dario call it my cyberpunk reference.
Oh really? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we're about ready, I'm going to sort of give a slightly bigger recap today, just to get people up to speed with where we're at and what we're doing, and then we'll jump in. It won't take much longer. Just a brief summary of events, and then what happened last session. So, the adventure began with the party made up of Roscoe, Francis, Kyle, Pod, and Featherin in the town of Meadowfen, where a week prior to the events that started this campaign, a small group of adventurers set off from the town to investigate a strange plume of black smoke to the north of the village. A week later, just as we began our adventure, a birdfolk known as Kara Stormsinger returned to town, bruised, burned, and short of breath. She reported that the town of Ashbarrow was burnt to nothing but cinders, and that Meadowfen is next if nothing is done about the scorched grove. And with that, the village elder Ardwin set you all off on a journey to the great tree city of Alderheart to request aid from the Perch Council. On your journey, you bumped into a travelling trader who called herself Eliza Pennygleam, who was off to the great tree city also. On your journey together, you stopped off in Winnowing Reach, where you gained a letter of introduction from the local magistrate, Warden Crane, who sought your aid in finding and recovering a missing scholar and defeating an evil witch who turned out to be, at least to you guys, not so evil. With that completed, you carried on your way to the Great Tree City, where you made your cases to the Perch Council, who didn't want to just brush you aside, but were also stretched thin. Said they would send supplies back to Meadowfen, but that you should return the following day for their final decision on what they will and won't be sending. You took a rest that night, and that's where last session began. You were woken up to the sounds of alarm and the rallying of guard, and following them to the northern gate, you all saw an incredibly large force of bandits raiding a merchant caravan that was trying to enter the city. Featherin reinforced the guard by wild shaping into a horse and rallying the guard at greater speeds. Kael performed feats of wind touch power to intimidate and disperse them. Roscoe jumped straight into the fray, reinforcing the guard on the ground. Francis crept through the wood and stealthily abducted a bandit. And finally, Pod cast an entangle spell, completely trapping a squad of bandits in place. With this, the bandit spirits were broken and many began to flee. The ones who were trapped were taken as prisoner and brought in by the Perch Guard, whose captain of which came out onto the scene and stated that they will launch a counterattack against their local camp. Following them, you all were a part of this battle after initially deciding that you wasn't going to get involved, but you did. The scene itself was chaos, and the guards were stuck fighting bandits outside of the camp, but this gave you all an opportunity to get inside, of which you did. And the scene was interesting. Featherin ended up wild shaping into a wolf to fend off a wolf that they had tame after Frey Meriden, a previous bandit you guys had met on the road, showed her face and decided to take on Roscoe on what would be her final battle. As she tried to flee after Roscoe cut her bindings loose, she was once again captured, but while the others walked off and returned, Kael finished her off.
Oh, let's
without
skip.
the others
That's fine. That's
knowing.
fine.
With that, an argument ensued and harsh words were yelled towards one another. But things have cooled down, and the captain of the guard has finally arrived, and that is where we'll pick up our session today. So
Yeah, they were mean to me. Same.
they were a bit mean to you.
We were very mean to you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Some
that's
could
where
say
we
bullied.
pick up today. The Francis and Roscoe
I
sort
could say we
of were
ruffled your feathers.
catching some air, catching their breath, cooling down a little bit, just outside the front entrance to the camp. The guard and the captain of the guard, Irish Frill, has just walked in and has began assessing the scene. And he has actually commanded that the Perch Guard that are with him, this unit of spears, begin searching through some of the tents to make sure that there are no outliers. And he approaches the group of you, which I assume are sort of all we're split up on the map here, but I'll assume you've all sort of gathered around at this point, if that's a fair assumption to make.
Yeah, I'm still sitting by the campfire, just staring right into, like watching it like a TV.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well-
and he. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say what Feverin was doing. I didn't know you were gonna respond. My bad.
No, go on.
No, I was gonna say Feverin is concerned and she's thinking where Roscoe may have gone, so she can go and smooth things over with him.
See, yeah, and maybe as you're
Yeah.
having this thought, the captain approaches you. I've got to remember his voice because I don't remember. I think I just did a stern voice, didn't I?
I think it was pretty
Yeah.
It was just pretty stern voice. So I think like this, something like that, kind of like the
Yeah.
Rangers. I think that
Pretty
makes sense.
grumpy.
Pretty grumpy. But he was in rather high spirits seeing these bandits defeated, wasn't he? So we'll go from there. Yes, adventurers, I see you've
Yeah, brother,
you've done a
what's up?
great job
Thank
at
you.
cleaning up some of the rabble here. Tell me, have you searched their tents? Did you capture their captain, or did they manage to flee? We know there were several in that raid.
I'll-
There was a captain down the road. We tied her up.
Yeah, what
Ah, but-
took you guys along?
I don't see her here.
No,
just
she's,
left her-
she's down that road and Pod points in the direction. We caught her again and tied her up. And then she looks at the others and goes, she managed to escape, but we caught her again and tied her up. She's that way.
And he will whistle at that, and a another two guards will or another guard will come running in at that sound. There's supposedly there is a captain in bindings just down the road there. Check on them. Yes, captain. And this guard begins running off. Hut, 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 hut. Down the
Uh-oh.
road.
Uh-oh, Kyle.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
The camp.
Uh-oh, Roscoe, who has all this stuff.
Hey, no one's asked to see that.
No, that's true. That's true.
Meanwhile, while this conversation is going on, we do see that from inside some of the tents. I don't have icons for them this very second because there's going to be a few and it'll just get crazy.
Oh.
But you would see that the Birdfolk Guard actually put out a few merchants that have been previously kidnapped from the raid.
I'm glad you set the place everything.
I'm really glad you didn't set fire to all of the other
Yeah.
tents.
that was a plan, though.
That was, in fact, the plan.
Yeah,
though,
it was. Dang it. Oh.
Imagine they pull up and they're like, "Where are all the merchants we were going to rescue?"
And what does it smell like bacon in here?
Yep, and upon talking to them, you hear that some of them are wandering traders, and some of them are actually meadow fenners themselves that left a short while before you guys made your way. They look a little bit malnourished, but otherwise they're fine. And the guard begin sort of rallying them together, and a troop of them begin escorting them back to Alderheart for the time being. The remaining guard here sort of gather up back around the captain, and they also point out, or they begin. The captain sort of points towards this sort of main tent, which is the fire is now sort of dying out on the tent around it, more or less destroyed now, but the inside's okay. And you see there's sort of like a chest there, and in between sort of the other tents there were small boxes and treasury things that the guards pull out with them, begin sort of ruffling through them in this assortment of stolen goods from the caravan raid. And the captain speaks up to you and goes, and then, well, I hope it wasn't too much trouble. You seem to have dealt with this quite well. There shall be a reward in this. This is no small deed you've all done here today.
I'll look up at the captain and say, "Well, I do appreciate the reward. No doubt about that." And I just look back into the fire again. And just completely ignore him.
I'm looking at those two and I'm going, okay, I guess I'm the spokesman now. So thank you. Thank you. We wanted to be helpful. Pod is just feeling awful and doesn't know what what to do. But Featherin's not talking, so she's Pod, so she's got to be polite. And
yeah, and the captain will look down to you and he'll sort of examine the three of you. He goes, "Have any of you sustained any serious injuries? We don't have a healer on hand, but we can certainly give you some brief field treatment should you need it."
Kyle looks like shit. He's rough. Man.
Pod is looking shiny new.
To say, Pod did a very good job at keeping herself safe that fight, but also dishing things out. You were no coward,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I could dish it out. I just don't have to take it. It's fine. I don't know.
Well, if you
Featherin,
have, well, I wouldn't mind something to fresh me up.
I have to find Mr. Servaday.
Actually, yeah, he wasn't too good, Mr. Roscoe.
Your one of the Vulpin or the Savant. Both of them were seeming rather annoyed out the front of the camp.
I think they're quite hurt. I think.
Yeah, we have some wounds to heal. I wish to do that actually sooner rather than later.
Yes, see to your people, and any of you with more minor injuries, we can offer some bandages and wraps. But please, convene back with us here. We must make sure everyone is accounted for.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he sort of like dismisses you to go catch up with your party members who are outside the front of the camp right now.
Oh, I need to reset my Chrome. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Captain begins sort of
Why would Featherin
rooting
say
through
this?
the messages.
It's deeper than you think.
Some chrome
Cyberpunk.
armor she's got on the body. She's used to, like,
Cyberpunk
tidy it up.
Okay, I'm back. I had to
What is
reset the
this chrome you
graphic
speak of, Featherin?
acceleration. It doesn't let me play the flipping Roll20 otherwise. Hey, look who it is. Yo, what's up? No, I'm joking.
Hey! Yeah, I think as she walks around the corner, Roscoe would fully be like sat down on the floor, up against the wall, his back against the wall, clearly still incredibly fucked up from being stabbed multiple times. He was on a good 2 HP at the end of last session before we all leveled up, but yeah, he's pretty rough. But I think he's just sort of sitting there. His sword is planted in the ground next to him, and he has this, well, the things that were just given to him a few moments before, this ornate sort of short sword that's laying in his lap, and he's just sort of sitting there like cross-legged on the floor with a little brooch and a ring in his hand, just sitting there looking at the grass and holding
Oh.
onto him.
Yeah, so she just comes and sits next to him, even though he's massive compared to her.
He is
She
quite
tries
literally
to-
double her size, but it is.
She tries to, whilst they're sitting next, she's sitting next to him. She tries to place a wing on his shoulder, realizes she can't, and places it on his back instead. And then
Yeah, I think
softly just whispers, Mr. Servaday, talk to me.
Roscoe just sort of like leans his head slightly towards her,
Aw.
as she touches his back and just goes, "I'm sorry, boss," and just sort of keeps looking down and doesn't really say much. But I think it's very clear on his face that he is just very sad at the moment, and is just sort of sitting there. And I think all of that anger and all of that sort of frustration that he had before has very clearly left him the second he was outside of view, and I think it would be fairly obvious to her that he'd been crying a little, and he's just sort of sitting there.
Oh.
Oh, little Mr. Servaday. So, you have to understand why I did what I did. I don't want you to hold any bad feelings towards me. We're friends. We are friends.
I think
Roscoe.
he perks up a little bit at that,
Oh.
and he just sort of looks at her and he's just like, "Really?" And he just like genuine surprise almost on his face, and I think he goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry about all that. I wasn't angry at you. I was sort of, I thought she was my friend. She was my friend. Well, I thought she was, and
Oh, it's fine then.
it's
Sometimes we have people who are good for us, and sometimes we have people who are bad for us. And severing the connection between those who have always been there and are bad is not always an easy task.
I think he
But
nods a little.
I do believe in the redemption of others. So who knows? Maybe after this, we can visit her and see what we can do for her.
No, we can't.
Yeah, Roscoe gives a little hopeful nod at that. And he's like, yeah, once once the gods have gotten yeah, I might want to talk to her again, but I don't know. I don't think she's
Dead.
I don't think she was my friend, was she? And he just sort of looks down at the brooch in his hand and the sword, and just sort of looks a bit sad, and just sort of frowns at it.
She doesn't really say much to that. She just
Mm.
rests her head on him and says, "You have many more friends. More than you might think."
There are more women in the fish.
Fuck off.
I think, I think as she says that, he just sort of nods a little and leans his head on top of hers, because it's that sort of thing of like that's the height difference. Where
Oh, this is killing me, guys. I
Yeah.
killed
and he just
killed
sort
Roscoe's
of
friend.
nods and just goes, "Never had friends."
I'm
before,
like, what the
really.
heck?
It's quite nice actually, and he just sort of smiles a little bit and just sits there for a
So
moment.
I kill
And
Roscoe's
I think as he
friend,
hears everyone in the camp
Holiday,
sort
without
of
knowing
talking
it,
and the guards
shot
shouting
her
to each other,
and knocked her unconscious,
he sort of sighs a little
tied her
and
up, and took all the
gets
items.
up,
gave it
sort
to
of
Roscoe.
stands
Kyle
to his feet,
comes and
and
slit her throat.
reaches out a hand to her and just goes,
And Pod framed
should probably
Roscoe
get
without
back.
knowing it.
and slides the ornate sort of sword into his little belt loop that he had his old one in, and leaves his old one on the floor and stuck into the ground by the camp. And then he puts the brooch and the ring in his little pouch on his belt, and
Fuck you.
gives her a little nod and helps her up.
Now,
Pod's been listening to this behind the fence, so she just goes whoop and jumps all the way back out.
oh, I love Pod. Might be time to find little Frankie now.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, he sets off to go and look for Francis, where he last saw him go around the other side of the fence. So,
Oi, Frankie!
Oh, Frankie!
Where's the
"Oi,
pizza?
Frankie, where are ya?" No, he just-
It'd be sort of during that conversation that's going on outside. Pod and Kyle, you would see that guard who left through the south. I mean, that chase only went on for about a turn, so
it's
that
not
guard,
far.
he's not far. That guard very promptly returns. Begins making his
So
way.
Kyle sees that and he starts walking out of the gate and says, "Well, I'm gonna go back." And he just walk up. I
And
need to
again,
snip this
Pod.
off.
Yeah,
Okay.
marches into the what would have been the tent, just the area where the
Is the guard
remains of it
carrying
are.
the dead? Or
No.
okay, good.
And he approaches the captain and whispers something to the captain. Goes, I see. And yeah, then
can
takes up
Pod-
position.
Can Pod try and use her large ears to see if she can hear? what we're
Oh
saying?
no!
Yeah, absolutely. Give
No,
me
you
a
can't.
give me a perception check if you want to try and listen in to what this this guard
What's
is
that?
saying.
Is my husband making uncomfortable?
Yes.
Absolutely make this uncomfortable. Right, what am I doing? Perception.
Bro thought he
Yes.
could hide.
Oh no,
he could
we lost
hide
the
his
internet. I'm
secrets for
sorry.
more than a few sessions.
I'm just gonna
Right.
pull the internet out now.
Pro's running to the breaker at the minute to try and shut the house's power down.
I'm closer. Okay. Right, perception.
Oh, come on. Bad road, bad road, bad road.
Good roll, great
Oh, it
roll.
was not
Good
a
roll,
bad
good
roll.
roll, good roll.
No!
Yeah!
Why?
And I will say this was a whisper, and you are about 20 foot
I
away.
am about 20
This
foot away,
you
yeah.
you
Yeah.
it hit
Trying.
exactly the number I set for this.
Oh, well, there you go.
So yeah, you hear maybe there's a moment where the snapping of the like sort of twigs in the fire stops. The sort of cheers of guard and chatter of guard dies down, and for just a moment you hear, "She's dead." And yeah, you
Pod's
just managed to
stomach
hear
just,
that.
like,
Yeah,
Pod's
that
stomach
she's
just
dead.
sinks. It's like,
Oh,
She was definitely alive when Pod left.
Yes.
Yes,
she
very
was
much definitely
when
alive.
Pod left.
Now, obviously, other things could have happened, and I don't want to point any fingers. But
I mean, she.
Hey,
I
he
mean,
I
didn't
wanna
say
point
she
fingers.
was very clearly tied up and murdered. He
Did,
did say she was dead, so she might
so-
have
Yeah.
died by herself.
did
maybe
he
she just died of natural.
did he stop the bleeding? But after shot her with an arrow, did it stop the bleeding?
Yeah, I did. I healed her.
Yeah.
I very specifically.
You
called her
very-
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
very
was.
specific
I
to heal
believe. I believe before the wound was inflicted in secret, you did give her a potion of healing to be able to converse with
I
her.
used my whatever it is, my help thing.
Yes, you had a.
Healer's kit.
Oh no, maybe you didn't. No, you potioned her the first time. Yeah, you stabilized
when
her
I
with your
shot her,
healer's kit the
I took
second
her
time.
down.
Yes.
It's fine, guys. I
Yes,
got
yeah.
this.
She
Just
was
let-
on 0 hit
let's-
points.
let's let
She
me
was
go.
safe
Well,
with
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
She
you
was
It was
you
quick.
hear that Pod,
It was
and
quick.
how you react is up to you. But the guard, the captain, continues to sort of rifle through one of the sort of chests or lock boxes that the bandits brought back here. Brings it out and drops it off with the sort of rest that have been gathered. In fact, they'll probably use this wagon that's here. He sort of pulls this Churbean's body to the side, and
Just
begins
slumps it off the side
loading
of
it
the wagon.
up to loading
With a foot.
these supplies up on this wagon, which they will probably get some kind of pack mule or together with enough soldiers can probably just pull back.
Okay.
But yeah, you see him load that up, and yeah, I guess the rest of you he did ask to reconvene whenever you are ready. So
Whew.
Well,
oh dear.
Deborah needs to try and
JB.
find Frankie.
Dirge!
I mean,
She's gonna
Francis,
take
you
a
tell us. Did you walk off in a strop far, or was it just? a
No,
couple-
no, no.
Sorry, that was so...
No, it's pretty close.
Okay, so she's just gonna wander around then. Oh my goodness, there he is. She's gonna take a somewhat slightly different approach to Frankie. She knew him when he was like super young, right? She looked after his mum and stuff, so it's a bit different. She sort of folds her wings.
Very much the angry
Yeah.
Nan vibe with
Yeah.
Feather today with him.
Yeah,
You see him. He's like sitting on a rock, right? Hunched out.
Mhm.
He's got his face is puffed up, right? His nose is sniffly. His eyes are red, and he's cleaning with a stick the blood and just the throat debris from his teeth the best he can, like frantically.
she's she's Frankie with a little raised eyebrow.
Yeah, he just drops the stick and looks at her. Oh, hello, Miss Featherin.
Now, I don't think you meant what you said.
No, I did not. I'm. At least I had a talk with Mr. Servaday. He told me a lot about her. Thought I'd give him a hand, and I had just taken my second life. Wasn't an accident this time neither. And it was me or him. I was against the wall, but that doesn't change nothing. And he starts picking the blood from his teeth again, and then. And the asshole captain, and I just cannot stand him, and I feel like I took all that frustration and I let it out on you, and he did not deserve it. None of what I said was true, and I think everything I meant, everything I said was just other frustrations that you took the brunt of, and I'd like to truly apologize for that. And he looks away.
Emotions were high. Emotions were high, Frankie. No worries, darling. I'm also sorry. I'm sorry that this whole situation even happened. I wish to always avoid conflict, but we have some saving to do. I understand. I've personally never taken a life, but I've seen many depart. It must be tough, but don't forget, I'm here.
I think he just gives her like a very sudden, very tight hug.
Aw.
She places her
Full-
wings
full-on
around
kid
him. Right. We have work to do. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah, of course.
She just pats him on the head with her wing.
Yeah, Corlys just walked up back to the capital because he's tired as fuck. He just want to, sorry, as Frick, he just want to go and have a drink, sit down, and go through what the heck just happened. Because he also taken his second life.
Aw.
He need to sort his thought out about who's next.
What?
Oh, I wasn't meant to say that loud. Sorry.
Yep. So, assuming the rest of you gather back inside, the captain begins rallying the rest of the force of the guard that came. They all sort of work together to sort of raise the front of this wagon and pull it along. Luckily, it's sort of on four wheels, so it's only a business of pulling it. But yeah,
Ooh,
together
I'm also
together
in the
they have
business of pulling it.
more. Sorry.
I'm also in the business of pulling it.
Shut up. They with the force they have, it's more than enough to be able to pull this wagon, so they do, and they basically just ushers you all to march with them back to Alderheart. And as you sort of reach that front caravan gate of these goods, he says there's a bounty of stolen goods from the caravanners here, but I'm sure some of this is due as payment. The city will cover what the caravanners are owed here. And what he will do is begin. Give me just a second. Thought I had the thing here.
Ugh.
Who
Yeah.
was
So
that?
the guard, he begins to sort of rifle through the chests, sort of various lock boxes, various sort of satchels that are in this, and begins to take out about half of the items that are gathered here. And so he sort of gathers it all into a bag for you. And again, we'll reiterate this will be covered by the city. We will return what is owed to whoever the caravanners are. You are no doubt due payment now.
Oh,
So here, and hands over a sort of a bag to one of you containing 175 gold.
it's me. I'm here.
Gives it over to
I'm
Pod
the only
then.
one here.
175.
Yeah,
Roscoe
sort of,
is like helping loading the wagon,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he perks up when this jingly bag of gold
Yeah.
gets exchanged.
There is this bag is given to you, Pod, and it contains 175 gold.
Okay.
It contains 100 and was it 100? No, hold up. I am mixing up numbers. Yeah, no,
When is Crush
175
Pod?
gold. It's gonna be 125 worth of gemstones
Ooh.
and 100 worth of various gold and silver urns, plates, and utensils.
Urns, plates, and
Ooh.
utensils.
So just general stuff worth that much. Fine china, I guess.
So it's not like a
Um,
pouch. This is a big
some-
bag.
This is a big thing.
Yeah. I mean like sack
The sack of gold.
of things.
It's a sack my size. Oh, God.
Yeah. I
Precious
like to
gems,
imagine
precious
he puts the
gems?
sack down and it hides Pod behind it with the amount of gold that's
Yeah.
in it.
Precious gems? Was it precious gems?
Yeah, small gemstones.
Small gemstones. I'm just putting this in my inventory, but I am
Yep.
writing it on a list as well. Okay. And
If we
something
divvy
pots and
the
pans.
gold
What
out
was it?
equally, it's 35 each.
Sort of gold and silver plated urns, plates, and utensils.
Okay. Gold and silver. Plate. And pencils. utensils.
I might tell meow meow.
Utensil.
Utensils. Save. All right. Cool beans.
Tonsils. A silver tonsil. From Roscoe's friend.
Thank you, Mr. Roscoe. It's a bit big for me.
Yeah, I think Roscoe literally just hoists up with one hand onto his shoulder and just goes and just he just pops up and he's just like, right, where we taking this? Should we put it in the big wagon or should I just carry it?
Well, it depends what we're doing next. Maybe just carry it.
Yeah, all right. He literally just, I think he flips it over and just hoists it over both his shoulders, like behind his head, and just sort of hunches a little bit to carry it, so he doesn't have to put too much effort into it.
Yeah, great. And yeah, with that, you guys leave these traces of battle behind. The remainder of the Perch Guard return to Alderheart. Any who fell during the battle transported back towards the front of this parade back to the city. And any that are too injured to carry themselves are sort of carried back on these makeshift stretchers and helped along the trail back home. But despite these losses, you and your companions are welcome back to Alderheart as heroes.
Ooh.
Oof.
And with this, the captain sort of ushers you guys to return to the council chambers tomorrow to sort of debrief on this situation. He will, in fact, he says he will send a unit of the guard to collect you from wherever you're staying. Where, I mean, do you guys tell him where you're staying?
I think Roscoe just gives him the name of the bar or whatever they're staying in, like the tavern. He does not
Yes.
give his mother's address to this man.
Your mom's getting busy now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Perch guard
the-
rotating
Stop being
door.
dirty, guys. Come on.
What time is it, by the way, Jamie? Because I'm pretty sure it was 3 a.m. when
Yes.
the alarm went off. So it's got to be like 6 in the morning.
It's probably
yeah.
bordering 5 or 6 in the morning at this point. It
Fucking
wasn't
hell.
it wasn't, you know, the longest
Mm.
hike to camp or anything. So probably closer to, like, you know, the initial raid happened at 3, so maybe you got at this camp by 4, and then
It's
so yeah,
about
let's say it's
5
about
by the time
half
you
4
get
in the
back.
morning. By the time you get back to the city, with everything that's gone on, probably half 5, say, in the morning.
Mm.
But yeah, if you're giving him the address or the name of the tavern, I believe it was the Wooden Flagon.
Yeah, it's the
You can
the
correct me if I'm wrong.
it's the middle one. It's the one in
Yes,
the
it's in the trunk. I know
in
The
that.
the
wooden
trunk.
Yes,
flagon. I've
the
got
the
written down.
Wooden Flagon. Yes,
The
Probably
wooden
it's
flagon.
flagon.
There you go.
Wooden Flagon. It was
In
the
the
name
trunk.
where you're in the trunk. Yes.
Myrna Missy. Myrna.
Yes. So with that, I mean, unless anyone's got anything particular they want to do before getting their final few hours of rest,
I think Pod, while they were walking back, would try and, like, very quietly go up to Featherin because she wouldn't want to tell Roscoe and upset him, but she knows it probably will upset him.
Oh.
Well, I will remind you, back in the tavern, you remember that it was you. I don't know. You think the 3 of you were sharing a room, weren't you? No, Roscoe went back home.
Roscoe
it was
went.
you.
Roscoe went to his mum's. He wasn't there.
Was I with Featherin?
I think you was with
Yeah.
Fedrin,
Oh.
and Francis was
On the couch.
sleeping
On the
couch.
sofa. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Roscoe does return to the tavern with them. He doesn't go back to his mum's. I think
Aw.
he's staying with the group.
But yeah, wherever you
Oh, can I
choose
go
to
to
speak with
Mum's?
Fedrin about this is up to you. If you want to do it on the road, you
I
can.
think I'd probably try and do it on the road when no one else was.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure
Around.
there's a moment you can pull back and chat with Fedrin.
I think Roscoe's fairly distracted.
Miss Featherin.
Yep.
While you were out talking to Roscoe and Mr. Francis, I may have overheard something not too good in the tent.
And what might that be, dear?
The lady or the fox that I shot and then I made better and wrapped her up, like the one that Mr. Roscoe said was his friend but really wasn't acting like his friend at all. She's dead.
What?
That's what they said. That's what the guard said. He told his captain that she's dead.
No. Oh. Did they say? Did you overhear like what the cause of death? Do we know at all?
No, I didn't hear that, did I?
No, they did. He
No.
just briefly mentioned
No,
that he found her dead.
I don't know. She was definitely alive when I left her, though.
Okay.
I thought I should tell you because I don't know if Mr. Roscoe will find out, and he's going to be really sad. Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, that's maybe something I need to break to him, dear. Thank you for telling me.
That's all right. That's what I thought. Oh, yeah. All right. And then because Pod feels really bad for Roscoe, she'll just sort of hop next to him. and chat,
Oh,
maybe.
stop
Okay,
it! I love you, but this is so selling me out.
Right.
She's a small, cute mouse. Don't know what else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with that, you guys, you have this conversation with the guard. He mentions he'll send a unit to collect you all at some point tomorrow from your stay, where you will meet with the council to debrief on the events of the night. So yeah, I will sort of transport us back to the wooden plank.
Oh yeah.
Here we are.
I think Roscoe is absolutely having a few stiff drinks.
Yeah. Pull Roscoe back in.
I'm
here.
Roscoe.
Unironically.
You're Roscoe?
Oh, there
What-
he is.
what?
Oh, I'm drinking wine right now.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, Roscoe has
Muscular.
firmly planted himself at the bar and is going through beers like a madman.
Aw.
4:30 in the morning. I think 5:30 in the morning. They probably don't even. Well, I don't know if they would deny.
Yeah,
There's probably like
that's
one
weird.
guy cleaning up, and Roscoe's like pointing at him and just be like, "Get me a beer." The
Yeah,
second
like
he walks in.
these people are not here.
Alright,
yeah,
can we like
stay
walk
there.
behind?
Empty.
These people are not here.
Hey Roscoe, what can I do for you today? What can I give you?
Roscoe just like saddles up and sort of tries to sit on one of the stools, but he's quite big. So
This
it's like he
this
just-
little hedge man looks up at you, Kyle, and like,
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Jeez, I almost stepped on you
You
there.
can't be behind the bar.
I thought this was in front of the bar.
You can't know the front is where your friend is. Please.
Oh, shit, yeah, it's so
mind?
dark. Sorry, I was completely thinking the wrong way. There we go, yeah.
fully lying through his teeth, being like, "I didn't see you."
Just looks just like a bit nervous, a bit stunned.
Oh god. I think Roscoe leans over the bar and he's like, "You little edge man, can I have like 4 beers, please?" Just-
Me in the morning.
Can I have a whiskey, if you don't mind?
Yeah, get my
So,
good friend here a beer too. And Roscoe slaps him on the back and he's like, "I've got friends." Like,
No! No!
Roscoe is very pleased with himself after finding out he has 5 whole friends. He did not know this.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, well, certainly. That'll be. Oh, I can't remember the prices of things.
I believe
I feel like it was
I believe
3
2
coppers for a
2 or
drink.
3. Yeah, it was 3 coppers, I
Yes.
think.
I
So-
give the hedgehog a...
If there's one thing I remember in
gold
this
piece.
whole campaign, it's the price of beer.
There we go, Hedgie. I can give a gold piece for doing this light. So for a coin.
Much appreciated, sir. Yeah,
No
well,
worries,
thank
no
you,
worries.
Thank you. No, yeah. Gleefully pours you guys some early morning beers.
A few brewskis at 5 in the morning.
And, Hedgie is the... What's her name, by the way? Or is it Hedgie?
His name
Is it Hedgie?
is.
Yes, Jamie. What's his name?
His name is Hedgie. His name is Hedgie, is it? His name is Hedgie.
Wow.
His name is Hedgie.
Like barrow.
What a
or something.
coincidence that is! That
Right.
he's the hedge. That's
So-
called hedgy.
So Hedgie,
Oh, that's okay.
just leave the bottle here, right? We're gonna get drunk.
I love how you like leave the bottle here when he's putting out like regular beer bottles. like,
Yeah,
On with
like
the
there's
whiskey.
not really like there's bottles of wine. There's not bottles of beer. It comes from like a cask and.
Well, we're gonna
Oh,
leave the cask then.
it's-
just sort of puts an entire barrel on the counter.
Just turn the tap around. It's fine.
It's one
do-
strong hedge.
Oh, I suppose actually, and yeah, he sort of does the math in his head, and you see him sort of counting away at his sort of
barrel.
fingertips, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah," like because of the gold piece you gave him, and then hucks the barrel up on the bar side for you. And
Roscoe is very pleased to see this and turns the tap on and leans his head down and fully just drinks from it, like upside down under the bar.
Kyle taps Roscoe and then like, help yourself, friend. You have earned this today. And I
Hey,
sit back
sure
and
do,
I nip
mate.
my whiskey, just with a bit of a gleaming eye to him, and like, yeah, you get drunk, it's fine.
Yeah. Roscoe
yeah,
just
and
sort of
with that, I
sits up
suppose
and-
we'll jump over to Pod,
Yeah.
Featherin, and Francis in their room while you guys are having this mini festival out in the out
at
in the
5 in the
tavern.
morning in an
Pod is
empty
asleep.
tavern.
That is like Pod is
Pod walked in and
Asleep.
immediately went catatonic on the bed.
done. That was a lot, both physically and emotionally. She is.
No,
asleep.
Feverin is in here. Like Feverin has joined them, so she'll be in the bar. But I don't know where my piece is. Oh, is it in bed? Did you
Oh,
put me
you're
in
in
bed?
bed.
In
You're
the
in
room.
bed.
Oh, do. she,
Yeah.
she was meant to be with Mr. Servaday. That's who she's with.
Totally fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pod
Featherin
would
is
have told them
watching
on the way back.
Roscoe
Like,
crash out.
yeah, Pod would have told them on the way back like what they'd earned, but it's fine.
I think
She's
Roscoe
asleep.
walked into their room, dumped a sack bigger than Pod full of gold on the floor, and went, "That's what we're using," and then turned
Oh.
around, picked up a big handful of gold, and walked out to go buy drinks.
Rude. Okay, so maybe Pod's scratch that. Pod's counting all the stuff out to make it fair. She's sitting here going through it all, counting it. She might keep the gems though.
That's completely fair.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're just counting for it, Francis, what are you up to?
I think Francis is trying to sleep, but just ends up rolling around on the sofa for a while in silence.
Gotcha.
Bro murdered another person today, so he's kind of. And this one was intentional and was actually his fault. He actually did murder this one, unlike the second, and that's the
Oh.
first time. This is technically his first real murder.
Oh boy.
Are we gonna
Yeah,
kick
yeah,
him
he
out?
can't explain why it feels different, but it does.
Well, he
Yeah.
did rip the man's throat out with his teeth, to be fair.
Yeah.
so- Slight
Keep this
difference.
going.
Yeah, I think Roscoe is fully like under the bar, like has basically like gone lengthways and has lied down on the floor to drink from this barrel, and is just looking up at Featherin for a second. He just goes, "You want any bosh?" Like midway through drinking it.
She's like, how well? Never mind. You've had a few drinks, haven't you?
Well, I've had one drink, which was pretty big, and he points at the barrel.
Yes, just as I thought. No
Yeah.
worries. We will talk tomorrow. For now,
Okay.
might it be time to share? And she just lays down next to you.
Oh, Roscoe
Oh.
Roscoe lifts the barrel up off the bar and hovers it over her head and turns the tap open. Just sort of
Waterboards
holds it in midair, literally waterboards her with beer for a few seconds.
Wanna check your DM, Jamie?
He
said he'd be
is
right back.
away. He'll be right
No,
back.
he's not.
I'm back.
He's back.
Oh, there you go.
Hello. Oh, right. So how's the
right,
drinking
yeah.
going?
Yeah, I mean, so you guys are sort of having these festivities and a little re-engagement of friends. Francis and Pod.
Yeah.
Well, maybe more so just Pod, because I don't think Francis, if you're tossing and turning, do you think you've? I mean, yeah, but I think this has possibly happened at a time that Francis has drifted off into a slumber.
Okay.
Pod, what happens when you're sort of getting back into bed tonight, as you all did level up last session? Some strange things begin to happen to you, Pod.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no.
You're turning into werewolf.
Oh. Okay.
A weremouse.
Maybe I'm playing on you tonight.
First feathering, now it's Pod. Wolf
Okay.
Pod.
Pod,
Yes.
you are sort of in your room. Maybe it's just as you're drifting off. You've turned the lantern light off, and things are calming down. Thinking about the things
Goblins,
tonight.
Smith, Barton, with 4 viewers in the raid.
Trying to make sense
Out
of
alive,
things.
what the? Thank you, buddy. Welcome to Telpinus.
I'm certain I did the right thing. I'm certain she was okay.
How are you? Welcome to D&D.
Maybe you're thinking about these things and you're sort of feeling that, this has been a tough adventure so far. What was just meant to be you guys traveling to the city has really pushed you all as a group time and time again to your limits. And you're sort of thinking about these things. and
We
maybe
are
struggling
Tailspinners,
to
so
drift
I'm
off.
part of Tailspinners
And
D&D.
as you are, Pod,
Holic.
you have a
Enjoy, guys.
an interesting
Yeah.
little token, I believe, a little wooden carved
I do. Yes.
token you found.
Hello,
and
Ganapoulos. How are you
see
today?
that? Where would that be? Would that be on your person, in your
Yeah.
pack?
It would be on a thing around my neck, but hidden.
Great. Yeah. So Pod, you actually, while you're laying back, you sort of start to see like, when you see that sort of
Howdy,
light when
partner.
your eyes are shut, you sort of see that bit of color come through your eyelids. I think it's
Yeah.
that, and you sort of look down, Pod, and that little charm is glowing faintly, and these small motes of light are appearing
Ooh,
around it.
podcast. Nice.
Okay.
And the cricket is
Willkommen,
also
feine
very
Goblins
much
mit
attentive
Barten.
to this,
Ihr
sort of
dreht alles in
sitting around the
Fantasiespiele.
charm,
Nice. We like that.
looking rather eager that this is happening.
Okay.
How do you respond to this, Pod?
Okay. She's like opens her eyes, sees this thing glowing, starts in surprise, but the cricket seems kind of excited, so she's like, okay. So I guess she'll kind of pick it up, put it in her hand to look at it more closely.
I will have a look at it after
Pod,
afterwards.
so
I will have a
as
look
you
at
pick
it.
it up, you see those motes of
Thank
light,
you,
sort
bud.
of,
Thank you.
the ones that were around your neck slowly fade away, and then they begin appearing around. New ones appear around this charm and begin sort of softly flowing, and then dimming and fading out, and then new ones appear.
Okay.
And the cricket almost seems excited that this is happening, and is sort of jumping around almost in excitement, and then sort of lands onto the token while it's in your hand, and sort of with one of its not a mandible, with one of its arms, for sake of going into semantics about it, points towards you, Pod, and then points towards itself.
Okay.
And points back at you,
Okay.
and then points towards itself, and it almost looks like it's like putting its hands on the either side of its head and like straining its face really, really hard.
Oh, okay.
And then it points at you, and it does that, and then points at you.
Does that? Okay.
And then it runs off of the bed.
Okay.
And you hear it chirp,
Yeah.
and you're not sure where it is.
Okay. Well, I'm very confused. I look closer at the token.
It's
And then
still
I-
just
And then I
softly
look at where
glowing.
I try and get off the bed, and I look for where the cricket went.
Sure, give me a investigation check to try and find
This
the
is quite
cricket.
stressful. I can give an investigation check.
Yeah, poor cricket.
I'm on the wrong page. Investigation check. Okay. Investigation. Ooh, not as good as you'd think.
Boogie core.
I mean, she would be stressed out.
Oh, 4.
Yeah, Pod. In the dark, trying to find this tiny cricket that has now gone silent, not happening. And maybe you sort of look around the room for a minute and then sit back down on the bed, sort of maybe in a bit of confusion or frustration. I'll leave that up
Okay.
to you. And
Just-
then sort of, what are you doing at this point?
I'm just looking at the token. I keep looking around, like listening, and see if I can hear the cricket somewhere. And then it's kind of bringing back memories of when I saw, or when I overheard that person say about the glowy rabbit the other day. There was someone in the bar.
the purple squirrel.
Yeah, the purple squirrel, not a rabbit. Yeah. And then I was like, why is? I'm like, because it's that thing where you've had no sleep, you're really tired, you manage to sleep for 2 hours, and then adrenaline pumps when you wake up. So I don't know. I guess I get off the bed and look under the bed again. I was trying to work out what the cricket's doing when it's putting its hands on either side of its face. So I put the token like right up to my head, see if that does anything.
So you're sort of physically looking for this thing and then
Yeah.
also doing this. It's sort of, yeah, okay. You give you look under the bed, Pod, sort of telling me directly what you're doing.
I'm going to use the glow from the thing to look.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. So you sort of hold this charm out underneath to sort of help you see, and the cricket kind of, you see it under the bed, hops towards you and sort of looks a little bit frustrated, and is like crossing its arms in front of you, and then it points at you again,
Yeah.
and then it motions its hands and strains its head, or strains its face, and is sort of like, either one of its hands are sort of touching what would be its temples, and it's like squinting its eyes really, really hard at you.
Okay.
And then it points at you again, and then points back on the bed.
So confused. Okay. Right. I don't know what you want me to do. Do I points back on the bed? Right. All right. So I get back on the bed, and then I do what it did.
It chirps when you go on the bed.
Okay. I seem to be doing well here. Right. And then I put both hands on either side of my head like it did.
And are you doing anything like what? You're just putting your hands on your head like that?
I just do whatever I think the cricket did. Then I pull my face. I don't know. Pull my face back. Whatever it did. I'm so lost.
Oddfully standing on a bed, like trying to strain while just being confused is the funniest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, Pod. You sort of start
Playing
to
a
do
game
this,
of fucking Simon Says with the cricket.
I'm talking to the cricket the whole time. Is this what? Am I in the right? Okay, I'm in the right place. Right. What is this?
sort of so you begin doing this motion, Pod, and you're sort of thinking about, what is this? What's going on? Sort of all this stuff is like, the cricket's being weird. This weird stuff is happening. What is going on? And then you sit there for a minute, and you're not sure if things are going right. And then you sit there for another minute, and then, Pod, you get this strange sensation. You sort of, as you begin, your thoughts calm down. That you said you had that sort of adrenaline where you wake up like you haven't had enough sleep. That sort of begins to settle, Pod, and then you sort of get this feeling where you get up off the bed,
Right.
and then you walk over and look underneath the other bed, Pod.
Oh.
And
okay.
underneath there, you sort of shift something from underneath the bed aside, and then you find the cricket.
All right. Oh. Okay.
And Pod, there is a weird sort of feeling as you get this, as you come to the conclusion that you're able to sense the location of the cricket.
Oh,
You sort of were drawn towards it.
yeah.
And then as you sort of find the cricket, it gestures around sort of in general
Yeah.
and then points again at you.
Do you want me to crawl under the bed? So I
So
start trying
face palms as you do that, Pod.
face cricket face farming is the best thing.
And then points at you, does that gesture again,
Yeah.
and then runs off out of sight. But this time,
You're not
Pod,
being helpful.
this time, Pod, as it runs off out of sight and you do that,
Yeah.
you don't lose track of where it is.
Oh, okay. I can see.
Pod,
I can just know where.
out
I
of-
just know where it is.
Out of character, Pod,
Yeah.
you now have the ability to sense fey creatures that are nearby.
Oh.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
And I have a face palming cricket.
And here for the cricket want to make babies by the sound of it.
No, no.
Get into bed, listen.
Bed. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Sense fey creatures. Cool.
So this weird epiphany is your bond between each other has grown, your powers have grown, you seem to have gained some kind of ability to sense these kinds of creatures
Okay.
when they're nearby.
Cool. Okay. But where's my cricket?
Oh, it's dead.
So
Roscoe
Pod now
stepped on
follows.
it.
She follows the cricket. She's like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
okay."
it's like you just know it's sort of running underneath the it's underneath these bedside cabinets and has jumped back onto the bed behind you and is sort of
I know.
sitting on like the headboard of it, sort of
Okay.
expectantly waiting to be found.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I go over and I high five.
Yes,
Tiny high five.
gives you a high five.
Okay. Can I talk to you now?
Sort of
Face palms again.
shrugs its arms like, what do you want from me, huh?
I'm a cricket. Fine. Oh, well, that's very useful. Right. Oh, that's. Ooh. Okay, she's pretty excited. Like nothing, nothing exciting apart from like up until the last week. So she knew when she found the cricket and that token, it was a bit weird, and then so okay, cool. She's
Great.
And then obviously all the other powers she has, she doesn't really realize. It's more of an instinctive reaction. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. With that, you
Then
all,
she
unless
looks-
there's anything else anyone else is doing, those of you drinking out in the tavern hall.
Yeah, what's the state of Roscoe
Presumably.
now?
Yeah, what is the state of Roscoe?
Yeah, how drunk is Roscoe?
Roscoe is very drunk.
By the way, so is Feverin. She's been trying to keep up with Roscoe.
So I slipped something. Does Roscoe have like pouches on the belt? Like pouches of some sort, like anything? Or is it pockets?
Roscoe does, yeah. He has like
Yeah.
a leather belt with like a pouch on it that he
Yeah.
keeps some of his gold in and shit.
I slipped something in the pouch with him being shit faced and not noticing. I slipped something
Yeah,
into the pouch.
Roscoe will not notice. I will
No.
choose to fail any
Yeah.
sort of check to find out. Roscoe
Jamie
is
knows-
lying on the floor, very drunk.
So Jamin knows what I am slipping inside the pouch, but that's it.
Okay.
So it's up to him to reveal that when it's time, if he wants to,
Aye.
or if you somehow find something weird.
But yeah, that assuming you guys eventually call it a night. Well, unless there's anything else, Featherin, Roscoe, Kyle.
I
I'm-
think Roscoe will, when they're done drinking, help Featherin to
Would
to
you
her
like
room.
Feverin's
She
input?
is
Would you like her
very
input
drunk.
right now?
Um,
Absolutely.
Jamie.
She literally hiccups.
1 second.
That's
Okay, let's go to bed with this glass of whiskey.
There you go.
Featherin hiccups. Kyle goes to bed.
So, as part of my Fey Wanderer thing, I get a Feywild gift,
Yes.
and I picked it. So, as Pod drifts off to sleep, illusory butterflies flutter around me. Little
Wow.
purple illusory butterflies.
So yeah, maybe it's those.
The glow wakes up Francis and he's really annoyed.
Yeah, you've got those small motes coming from the charm, and then
Francis
they
got tickets,
sort of
like,
wrap
white
around you and
snacks.
turn into these butterflies. And while when the charm stops glowing, you still have these softly glowing butterflies wrapping around you.
Don't eat them, Francis. They're not snacks.
Featherin's gonna think she's tripping when she comes back in.
Quite
Yeah, I
possibly.
think Roscoe helps Feather into the room, and sort of just like helps her to the bed, and then goes and just I think he fully slumps against the door, like facing into the room, closes his eyes, and just sort of goes, "Oh, I love beer," and just sort of like fully just almost immediately it goes catatonic, and he has under his arm the very now empty barrel of beer that he is basically just holding.
Fantastic. And with that, you can all take a long rest.
Hooray!
No
Woohoo.
thanks. I would rather level up.
Yeah, can I level up, please? Can I opt
You
into that
literally
instead of taking
just
longer?
leveled up.
Yeah, but did you
Yeah,
not
but-
hear the
Yeah, but
emotions?
that was like a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, we've already seen many of our viewers think that for the betterment of the stream, we should level up. So I think
John
that's...
Viewer is Dario. That does not
No,
count.
John Viewer is
John
do not,
Viewer
do not,
is
do not
Dario. It does
besmirch the
not
name
count.
of our kind and beautiful viewers. Thank you very much. Listen
You
to
heard
their
it here
input.
first. He doesn't like his viewers.
I hate my viewers.
Guys, unsubscribe. Do not
Feedcar
like. Do
invites-
not follow.
Feed Guy Mine says everyone's trying to sleep. Pod's having a personal silent disco in the corner. I see no issue.
Oh,
Pod, you have a weird dream, and it's sort of this beat that goes. Unts, 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 unts.
The cricket's dancing with some
Well,
butterflies.
yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Jamie,
I met a boy.
The cricket is a German raver. Just
There you go.
has our friend Hedgie gone to bed, or is he still behind the counter?
Hedgie is, doing the night shift, making sure no one sort of wanders in. It's a late city, but is probably prepping for the early morning hours, sort of
Yeah,
getting
okay,
food and things ready in the kitchen and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Never mind.
All right. Yeah. So, assuming you all take your rests,
Yes.
Is
as
Yeah.
proposed by the captain, a member of the Perch Guard will come and collect you all from the tavern around sort of midday when the council are ready to speak with you all.
oh, hang
and-
on, Birdie. I need to go and take a quick wee in the wee basket. I forgot to
Give
take
the
a
wee bastard.
I forgot to take a piss before it starts. So give me a minute, please. Be right back.
The little
Yes,
murder
do your
girl.
business.
Be right back, guys. I'm just gonna have a
The little
wee
murders room.
a wee pee.
The little
got-
Corvum's room.
Pick my. So is that what is the?
I will
detect fey,
add
is that a
it
spell
to you. It is just a
thing I can
passive
use?
thing you have. It's something you need to focus on, so we'll treat it like an ability that you need to use.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll add it to your character sheet.
Thank you
But
very
within 30 foot, you can detect fey creatures.
Cool.
I don't know if that's an actual spell or not. If it is, that's perfect. If it's not, I will create a custom thing.
Okay.
Let's
I
have a
need
look.
to. Oh yeah, we need to sort what spells. I need to pick my spells because that's a thing I have to do.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, I will drag you all to the council. There you are.
Ah, no, not today. I've got a fucking hangover. Featherin did not say fucking.
Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
that's fair.
Wait, what's going on? I had to run downstairs.
You
That's
have
alright.
been
We're just prepping.
They've
escorted
woken us
to
up.
the Perch Council.
Cool.
Where's my information? here it is. Council. Orlan, there he is. Pod, if possible, Pod's going to be kind of more over to the right, so she can.
Yeah,
be in
you
the
can
eye line.
absolutely line up with how you would like to be
I would like
ordered
to be
and grouped.
there-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Roscoe's
the captain
just
of the
gonna,
guard would probably be standing center in here.
Oh, I see. It goes down. The steps down to that bit.
Yeah.
Pod's going to be here so that she's in eye line with Orlan.
I think Roscoe's gonna be like he looks to Feather in a little bit and he's like, I mind you want to like, talk to him, and he just sort of like stands at the top. Roscoe is very clearly hungover to fuck. He is like he drank a full barrel of beer. This man is like swaying on his feet slightly, and he's like, you want to talk to him, Bush? Just trying to keep himself vertical, basically, in this moment.
Yes, it's like you believe I was also not partaking, but yes, I shall.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yes,
just sort of pats her on the back.
I shall give someone else the opportunity. Little Frankie. She just rubs her wings on her eyes like, oh, little Frankie, go forth. I know you can do it.
Oh, yeah. All right. So what you guys want?
Wow.
Jeez.
All the grace and decorum of a
Just,
bin bag.
Roscoe puts a
was-
thumbs up and goes, yeah.
I was
he
surely
winks at him, he
waiting
puts a
for
thumbs up.
Odin to be back.
Yeah, we were waiting for
but
Odin.
if that's how we're going with it,
I am back.
Oh, good.
Oh, there you go.
great.
Yeah, yes. Frankie
What
just looks
do
at him
you
and goes,
want?
yeah, so what do you guys want?
The cricket
Yeah,
face
so,
palms again.
Bringing you in, the captain of the guard awaits Beta, the council speaker, to address him of the events of last night, and we'll mention about the raid, the injured peoples, the kidnapped peoples that they returned, and then the council sort of looks towards you all after he mentions that you aided in the defense and the sort of defeat of the bandits that night. Basically, at this point, I'm going to ask you, is there anything any of you are withholding from the council? What are you telling them that happened that night? Are you telling them everything you know? Kyle, are you telling them what you did?
Oh yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, he's going to walk in and
You
go,
know,
I killed
those
one of them."
sorts of things. So give me the rundown. Sort of as a group, you can discuss what you do and don't want
Yeah.
to share, if anything.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
definitely leaving the
think
part where
Roscoe
I rip the guy's throat out.
Yeah, I don't think Roscoe would talk about him letting the bandit captain
No,
go.
I
I think he
you're-
would. Yeah,
Just do
I
what
think he
Pod-
would keep
well,
that to
Pod
himself.
just said she escaped, so I think we'll stick with
Yeah,
that story.
I mean that's not a lie. So yeah, she did
No.
escape
She did.
for a while. So yeah, I think Roscoe is keeping his mouth very much shut today because he is drunk and does not trust himself to not immediately blabber everything that happened.
Yeah, I think that Kyle kind of steps up. I'm like, all right, guys, I can take a quick recount of this since you other guys are drunk and it's been a rough night.
I'm not drunk. I'm hungover, he says whilst trying to stand up and not fall on his ass.
Well, I love you, Roscoe. I give you that.
Roscoe fully starts crying. Roscoe's an emotional drunk. He's standing there with a tear running down his cheek, like, yeah, me too. Just trying to stand in a respectful pose for the Perch Council.
And after I made the Roscoe cry, I say, Honorable High Council, I stand before you today with my group to recount the deeds that we did last night. As you can see, it was a rough fight. Poor Roscoe here is in a bad state. Francis here is also, it was rough, but we did as good citizens would do, and we did promise you the other day that we would help out as best we can, which I believe we did, with a firm, stern nod towards the captain in the middle, for like a recognition from him too. kind of thing. We got tasked or asked by the captain in the room here to join in and look for the bandits. We pulled along after the night that looked like a bowling pin. I didn't say that though. Yeah, we walked after the group. We came to camp. We had a bit of a look around, and there were a camp full of maycaps and maypacks and gerbines, and it was a big open tent in the middle. Nothing too obvious, but we jumped into the fray. so to say. Roscoe here, he rammed head first into the whole fray and knocking a whole watchguard's tower down with the maypacks in it. The poor maycap didn't survive that.
He did actually. But yeah.
Our brave Gerbine,
a little nod.
our brave Gerbine made sure that we were safe from afar with the sharp arrows zooming past us. Fedrin here has a bit of a feral instincts, and she used her, her stick pretty good. Knocked some of them out with her stick. But the fearsome leader, their bandit captain, she wasn't one of the tents that I did set ablaze, knowingly of course. And when I set the tent ablaze, the captain ran out, charged towards the biggest threat in the camp, and I looked at Roscoe and kinda, that's a guy that the biggest threat kind of dude. I'm just giving Roscoe so much, yeah, come dude!
Also making him look like a murderer.
No.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So the bandit captain charged towards Roscoe. They were really haggling out, you can say. There was no holding it back. Poor Roscoe here almost, didn't make it. But we came together as the group we are. We saved them, but in the midst of the chaos, the bandit leader tried to escape, which she did. And Podday and Fedrin and me, we set apart while Roscoe and Francis tried to run up the other maypacks. They were really biting their tails off, you can say. We chased down the captain. Podday here planted an arrow into her back, so she fumbled down and knocked herself out. We took some of the items back and, just to make sure that we done the right thing. Yeah, and then your captain here came into the camp. And yeah, that's a short recount of the deeds the other day. Honorable High Council.
Yeah, and with that, you see them all sort of taking notes on these events that you give. Well presented, sort of just strictly the events of that night, not going into any great detail, just saying who you fought, nothing in general, or duly noted. And at that point, they sort of mark things down, and they offer they mention that. Oh, here I'll sort of RP this out. With this threat dealt with, I'm sure you can understand that there is a certain level of threat we must respond with. This was no meager raid, as backed up by your story of events, much like Captain Iris here. That said, we will have to waylay our previous agreements on sending support to Meadowfen. I know this is not the news any of you wish, but with a raid this big on the city at this time, we cannot afford to spare a single soldier. We cannot afford to spare a single supply.
So it sounds like
council-
to me we helped you and you're not helping us. Or am I confused?
A purpose doesn't like, well, you haven't changed, have you? And I suddenly just just turn slowly around and go behind Roscoe.
No good deed goes unpunished, huh?
Oh, fuck you.
We
does
understand
not look
that this is
at all
not the
surprised.
news any of you wish to hear. And we do not wish to. You saw the force and reported the size of this force that you dealt with last night, correct? If the bandits are this bold to approach our city gates with numbers and with a raid just like this, how long until they invade the city proper and there is no Order Heart left?
Excuse me for interrupting there, High Council. We are a group of 5. We took on the whole bandit camp alone and their captain. Are you saying that the guards are badly trained?
I will remind you that Captain Iris's report mentions how his forces were busy dealing with the majority of the number outside of their camp. You dealt with a measly 10 or so bandits inside. I will not have you besmirch the spear in this way.
With all due respect, I think our emotion is quite warranted under the circumstances, as one can assume.
Pod is going to be looking at Orlan and seeing how he's reacting to this.
Yeah.
The guy who, when they first met, he seemed, I don't know, he seemed not happy with the idea that they weren't helping. He's more.
Yes.
seems-
So, Orlan would be this Gallus over here, just as a reminder. I mean, all the council sort of look very, very concerned at these sort of events being discussed. I would say each of them have sort of furrowed brows and a look that doesn't want to give too much away.
Do we spot it clearly, like they're a bit concerned and they're? Is it like they're not liking the decision of their High Council, or is it like some?
Anyone who's sort of trying to either give me insight or perception based on what it is you're trying to obtain. If it's sort of, yeah, I guess insight or perception rolls for anyone sort of observing the council, and I'll sort of give you
Oh,
some
23.
info.
Oh, damn.
21.
Yeah, Roscoe didn't get a very good perception roll.
Hang on a moment.
Yeah, so I look at them closely, like
Francis is
The
distracted.
drunk people aren't doing too well.
like
Hey,
we're
Francis,
talking
you have a
like an
drink.
praising
Oh, yeah,
eye.
that's a good point. Oh, shit, the hungover person's doing even worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
Francis didn't have a drink, but his sleep was interrupted by dancing butterflies on a cricket.
By a
chasing
rave
him out
in
of-
his room, yeah.
Pod's had a great night's sleep. And everybody else-
Yes,
Yeah, I suppose for everyone other than Pod and Kyle, they appear to they look concerned about the matters. How you read that is sort of up to you as to whether they're concerned about the bandits, concerned about themselves. Either way, that and they've been up for quite a while. Kyle and Pod, you notice that each one of these council members looks to be rather tired. They look to be heavy-eyed, as if they've been up for quite some time, either working or discussing things.
No sympathy from us, sir. That's your job.
In this moment, Pod, you specifically looking at Orlan, he looks to be frustrated.
Right.
As to what that would be, I think you would have to talk with Orlan to understand that, but the look he gives is certainly one of frustration more than anything.
I take a bit of a step forward, like here, and I put my hand on the rail, like a lawyer does in the high court, like standing there, like. And I look at them every close and I like really stood them, like 3 seconds for each before I talk and say, if we are not gonna get any help from you, and I like point at each one of them, you and you and you and you, there will be no High Council left. This tree of ours, this house, the home, everything that is above us and below us will be gone. There will be nothing left. Because a scorched grove doesn't give a rat's ass if you're a big tree or a small tree. It burns everything away. And it can happen tomorrow, next week, a month, a year, who knows. But I do understand the situation you are in. You do have a band of Gerbines and Mayhapags and other things, but there is a way. I don't know what the way is, because I'm not a High Council member. I'm a bard. I spin tales, and that's what I do. But if you cannot give us the guards or the manpower, can at least give us the resources we need, so we can either halt this scorched grove burning on, or eventually stop it. And I look directly at the leader of the High Council.
There is something you seem to be missing, Mr. Kael, and that would be the fact that we don't have an answer yet for the grove. That is what we are seeking. For now, all we can do to solve the immediate threat is by fighting off these bandits. The grove is a concern, but it is a concern that is slowly growing. It is one we can not afford, but we have time regardless. This
You might
encroaching
have
force of
time, but
bandits.
We don't have time. Pod's like mad. We don't have time. Our home is about to be burned, and you don't seem to care. She's looking straight at Orland. She's like, I know that you've got to protect these people, and if you can only do that with force, then fine. But who on earth is actually trying to solve this problem? Who is it? Who are you waiting for? You keep saying this thing is doing it, but who is the person trying to solve this? Can we help them? Is there a way we can get this information or help with it? Or she looks at Orland, not that she knows really what his name is, but she's like, please, it will get here. It might get here slow, but it's burning our homes now. And the more people who lose their homes are going to become bandits because you won't let them in here. You're going to have a bigger problem, and then the Scorch Grove is going to get here and burn it down. And that's that. So who is it? Who's helping? Who do we need to go and see who can actually help us? Because you don't seem to be able to. And then Pod's like, sir.
So at this, the speaker looks very frustrated that you've interrupted her mid explanation of the situation, and begins. Yes, while this is not us directly as council who deal with the specific matters of the grove, we have the tenders. Do you know who the tenders are?
Useless, apparently.
Oh, wow.
I think Pod says that under her breath.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of them, yeah.
We know the tenders, yeah.
Then you will know the valiant work they do by going directly to the grove and slowing down its spread, researching it, and doing what they can to prevent it. And while we don't yet have an answer, we are working on it.
Kyle is mumbling.
This is not something that we can rush or hurry. We understand the nature affecting the outside villages and towns, and we have our concerns for them. Do not mistake us for uncaring. We care about all cities, all populace of the woods. What we
Well, then where are
do,
these tenders?
my dear, tenders travel back and forth from the grove every day. Some of them injured. Some of them lose their lives there. Some of them make base camp just short of the flame. I can
I admire
appreciate
all
that
of
this is
that,
a
but
scary situation for folk who are living close. But as council speaker, as council, and as the capital of the wood, we have no option but to maintain the safety of all, and sometimes that starts with us. Now, this
Ah.
bandit threat,
Hmm.
if the
I
capital
interrupt her and
if the
say, "Dear
capital
council
falls,
speaker,
what else will be left?
are you saying that you care
Capital
for your own
will-
safety?" We are not saying that you're not caring or uncaring. We're basically saying that I don't think you see the real threat there. The real threat is that Scorched Grove is making more and more bandits every day, and this city will either be burned down or overrun. But I'm glad to see you haven't changed in all of these years, and I used to walk away. I used to walk out. Kyle is mad.
And what
So
you
what do you
yet again
suggest we
fail
do?
to see is that if we don't put a stop to these bandits, the grove is left unresearched. People are harmed in their way, and we cannot perform our work while these bandits continue to threaten our walls.
I actually
I
don't
think-
appreciate your current tone with us.
Maybe they should stop pissing on the Scorched Grove then and do something! You heard Kyle
I
shouting.
I think Roscoe sort of steps up and has sort of sobered up after everyone started beefing with the woman who kind of runs the city.
Holy bloody.
Yeah, and I think Roscoe sort of looks up at her then and just goes, "Then, I mean, what can we do to help with the bandits? Because clearly waiting for them to raid the city like they have been doing and responding after and helping. What can we do?" And I think Roscoe just sort of like taps the sword in his hilt and goes, "Now we can go out there and find every bandit in the middle of the wood and you know, cut under ribbons or arrest them or bring them back here or whatever, but it's not going to help because at the end of the day there's still something leading them. There's still someone pushing them. It's not the people on the ground doing the fighting that are the problem, it's the ones who are doing the planning." And I think he sort of remembers back to his time in the bandit coalition, and she goes, "So what can we do about that?" And sort of looks up to this woman. I forget her name.
Her name is Beta, but yes, you
Beta.
look up to her, and
I'm
she
gonna
looks
beat her, all
down.
right?
She looks down towards you, Roscoe, and is rather receptive of these things you're speaking of. And sort of, yes, the matter at hand. We will discuss over the coming days how we will deal with this threat. Clearly, the bandit coalition has outgrown just a small threat and become something considerable if they think they can take on the city. I'm sure Captain Iris Friel will be discussing the matters in depth and coming up with some sort of plan, but I can imagine that over the coming days we will make a decision on this. That is why we must waylay the supplies and the support we can offer to the outer towns. This won't be a permanent change. We look to put a stop to this bandit threat so that we can focus on these flames.
But what if in the next 3 days while you're chatting, it comes and burns my house down? Is there not something we can do? Go and help them? Do they need something we can find?
While I appreciate you wish to help in these matters, the tenders are doing what they can. Now we know for a fact. Are all of you aware? What details do you know of the Scorched Grove? Are you just aware of the rumors of fire spreading, or do you know any
Rumours.
grander details?
I know that it's probably not natural. We know that it's being spread by animals that are on fire because we've seen them. We know that no matter what anybody does, it doesn't stop. So if you're just standing there telling me it's a fire, it isn't. And we know that. That's why. That's why we don't want to just wait.
We are
So if
aware
someone
it is
needs
clearly
information or
more.
something-
We are aware it is much more grander than a fire. Do not mistake us on this. And she sort of has like a sorrowful look on her face as she's saying this. We understand that people are losing their homes and losing their lives. We understand that this leaves them to try and make their way to safety or take up a life of banditry. And neither of these do we want to have for these people. There's one thing, or two things we know of certain about the grove. It is neither natural, nor does it spread quickly. That's the key thing here. While cities, villages, and towns are being destroyed, it's not that we haven't put research into the matter, but we cannot resolve this. We cannot fight these flames. Nothing yet we have found stops these flames. But we will find it, but with the pressure from these bandits, the dangers on the road, the supplies we send to reinforce, to aid these tenders that seek to prevent all these wildfires from consuming the wood, none of it can reach their destination should these bandits keep posing a threat. We cannot offer aid to people should these bandits continue to be a threat. And that is why, over the coming days, we'll discuss how to deal with them. This is a step too far. I urge you all. Ash Barrow, you said that was destroyed, correct?
Yeah.
Roscoe nods.
Well, I appreciate it is not too far from Meadowfen. There is a reasonable distance. I would surmise there to be the better part of a year before it came close to Meadowfen. At the rate that it is spreading, we can afford a week.
I mean, that's not necessarily what the person who came running into our town on fire said, but I would hope you'd know better.
There are many things you should avoid when it comes to rumors.
This wasn't a rumor. I saw her. She was on fire and she ran into our town. That's how close the place was.
That this sort of back and forth at this point, they're sort of the council taking note of these things that you're saying, that someone came in town aflame, sort of looking. We will do our best, Miss Podadai, correct?
Podadai Roo.
You mentioned you had a farm in Meadowfen.
Yeah, my family farm. It's big. It employs a lot of people, not just my family. So if it were to go, then that'd probably, to be honest, be more bandits you'd have to deal with. Because that'd be all the food gone. Not just for us, not just for the town, but for everywhere around it as well. And you won't let us in here. And there's barely any farmland if it keeps burning. So you'll understand my anger and my frustration that chatting is happening and there doesn't seem to be anything we can do about it.
We assure you, it is your kind of work that keeps the woods running, that keeps the people fed. Without you, and without your family and your work, we are well aware we have nothing. And this is why we are putting the research in. Again, if we cannot get this research in, there is nothing we can do.
I think Roscoe sort of puts his hand up. Just trying not to interrupt again.
Yeah, sort of gestures over towards you.
Yeah, I think he goes, so like I said before, if it's the immediate threat of the bandits and that's what's stopping you from being able to research it, then what can we do? Put us to work. You know, you've seen how capable we are. We can be good use, you know, for this, and more so than just another group of fucking city guards going out and patrolling. We can go to places and deal with problems that are happening, but we need you to tell us where those are and what we can do.
And protect the fire people, the tenders. If that helps.
We as the council and as people of the wood are glad you have said this. We certainly intended to ask of your aid in the coming days. No doubt we will need it. You have shown yourself as capable warriors, capable adventurers. There are things we can sanction you to do while the guard and other members of the city work elsewhere. Please. We will meet again this following week. We will discuss what it is we need to do. For now, we have captives that you took in. You made the right decision by not dispatching of the bandits.
Roscoe nods. It's seemingly happy that he can talk to his friend.
Come on!
You did good work on bringing in those prisoners. I'm sure we will get some answers. We are aware of the leader of the bandits,
Fuck. No.
Savan Benner. We're aware of her, but her motives and their hideout are something that elude us for now. We intend to gather this information from the captured forces, and with that, we are certain we can make a final decisive strike against the bandits. And from there, we are free to operate and research, prevent, and put a stop to the fires that burn.
Everyone walked out, by the way. She's very upset and she doesn't want to say anything too uncouth.
Roscoe
this,
just sort of gives him a
Suggest
nod.
we bring an end to this meeting, as seemingly some of your party are unconvinced. But please, you are staying in the trunk, correct?
Roscoe nods.
We will request of you in a few days. For the time being, I suggest you all get some rest, recover from your wounds, and prepare to be called upon.
Request away. Good luck. He just leaves as well.
Roscoe gives him. I think he like tries his best to do a formal bow, but he is from the roots and doesn't know what to do and is very drunk. So he sort of just goes like, "Yes, Your Majesty," and sort of like bows his head and sort of like lowers his antlers down.
Don't get
and
stuck
just
in the
sort of
middle.
like does that a little bit, and then just sort of like kind of puts his arms out like he's doing a big bow, but it's not really a bow. He's like he looks very awkward, but he's clearly trying. He's like, yes, Your Highness, Majesty, important peopleness, yeah. And he just sort of backs away with his head still down and goes to the door.
Yeah, brilliant.
Pod's gonna just go, thank you for listening, and I apologise for my outburst. I don't want to lose my family home, and it's frustrating when I can't do anything. But I appreciate you have a difficult job. And she sort of leaves, but she looks at Orlan on the way out. So she walks out.
Yeah, great.
I'm standing there
Wha-
like I'm cleaning my dagger. Like, making it shine again.
With that, I guess the question I have for you all is, what next? I mean, unless there's
Let's kill the
anything
guards and take over the
specific
council.
you guys want to do, or
I want to
wanna
take
get
over
up
the
to,
council.
Yep.
there is going to be
Can
is
we
gonna be
plot
some
to murder
downtime
the
here.
council? I
Can we
think
put Harrison?
Roscoe's gonna go
Seriously,
see his
considering
mum.
I mean,
advancing the
you
fire as
Yeah,
fast
you
as
guys
we
you guys
can.
sort of
Yes, Mum.
discuss if there's anything you guys want to do
Yeah.
as a group. If there's anything you want to do as individuals, I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom.
Hey, Roscoe,
Yeah.
how's your mom?
I definitely want to go. I want to see Roscoe's mum.
Yeah, I was Roscoe's
mean,
mom too.
Roscoe just goes, well, I mean, yeah, I did sort of leave in a hurry at 3 a.m, and she was like half awake, and I sort of just said,
Oh,
stay
no.
in the house, there's an alarm. And then I just sort of ran out, and then she didn't see me for hours because I was in the woods murdering
Yeah, we
people.
also
so
go
it's
back and
possible
say
that
hi
she's a
to
bit
her then.
worried. He's sort of just like
Just
doing the mental math in his head, being like, I did run out of the house at 3 a.m, and my mum hasn't seen me come back, so she might think I'm dead. So I
might be a little concerned. is
So you're
all.
saying
She
that
might be
you
a bit
shouldn't go there
concerned.
because she thinks you're dead, or they want to be
No. I think he's more concerned about going there so she doesn't think he's dead.
Ah,
So I
yes.
think he goes
We
like,
should
well,
go.
yeah, we should probably, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go check on it. If you're all welcome to, to come with.
Oh, heck yeah.
You can see
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I grew up. It's
That would be nice.
not very fancy, and he looks around the most ornate building he's ever been in his life. And he goes, she lives in the roots, so it's sort of underground, a bit shit. But it's nice.
So I
and-
look up at Roscoe and say, well, buddy, after the talk that we had in the cave, I kind of like you. So I would love to see where you grew up and where you come from.
Licking his ass because
Roscoe-
you killed his friend is wild.
yeah, Roscoe gives him a little nod, and he's like, "Yeah, I like you too, friend." Roscoe is very happy to have friends, and does not know what he should be doing about it. So he just keeps mentioning that he does have friends.
Friends.
So
I mean,
yeah,
so we've got visiting Roscoe's mum, I think, is the first thing
I
on the
think
agenda. I
Pod-
mean, if there's anything of, I mean, go on, Pod, if you've got an idea, absolutely give it to me.
Pod would. Well, she's never been here before.
go shopping.
So, well, it's shopping, but also Pod and I would like to. I guess she'd ask Featherman or Roscoe and just sort of ask, like, where's like the big tourist locations?
Well,
So-
yes, this is the thing I was going to discuss with you. As
Yeah.
you sort of leave the council, this time you're in no great urgency of going anywhere. It's sort of middle of the day, so there's no reason to settle down. Looking at the canopy, for one such example, I'll take you all to that map screen now. This is the overview of the canopy. I'll jot about all of the sort of general quarters available on
General
there right
quarters?
now.
General.
Damn, I
sort
forgot
of,
this was a big
what-
city with lots of actual stuff in it. Kind of forgot that for a minute there.
So you've got the
cool.
courthouse and council chambers. That's where you guys have been. You would have most prominently walked past the Perch Guard HQ in Jowl.
What is
where
that
you come up
spelling of
the
jail?
canopy.
That's
Yep,
the
that
old
is-
spelling
That's
jail.
That's
the O as
great.
well. Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
This area is known as the Council Plaza.
Mhm.
Purple Plaza.
Here
Corporal
you would anyone that lived here, so probably Kyle would have mentioned this as you pass it from the canopy lift. This area is known as the first branch. It's sort of the first sort of neighborhood that was set up. To the left you have to the west you have a region called the Branches, which is just a series of homes and whatnot.
I was hoping you were going to say
Um,
branches.
It's just
To the
sticks.
east, I mean, this map is sort of rather flat. This is representative, right? But this is
Yeah.
all on varying levels of branches and branches that branch out through the canopy of the
Hey.
tree.
What?
So
Hey.
there is a
Damn.
mixture of things.
You got
It
branches
is,
in these branches?
for the bird folk, it's totally fine to be up here. You could pretty much all of you can glide, but for humble folk, this is a scary place to be. One wrong step could mean falling out of this giant miles high tree.
Yeah, Pod is not good with a
Oh, hey,
height.
Pod, do you want to fly down there? You can jump on my back,
And then
you
you
know.
also have this region called the mainstay manors, which is
Francis
a
looks
sort
at
of region of
Featherin with
richer
like
neighborhoods.
awe in his eyes.
Ross looks over at the
That's sort of to
mainstay
the
manors
northeast,
and has,
and then
yeah.
the northwest contains the sort of temple quarter, the canopies
Okay.
market, and some
yeah.
housings of some of the guilds as well.
Yeah, I think Roscoe looks over at the mainstay manors and is sort of got a little look on his face of like, I don't want to go there again. And I mean, the markets are pretty good. We could go spend money.
Sure, okay, let's go
Oh,
to
We've got a
the...
lot of
Oh,
it
yeah.
now.
Would have given you all the money
Yeah.
from last night before we left, so you've all
I
got
think it's-
35 gold.
Oh.
Yo.
Way.
Hey guys, I have a wild idea. Should we like create a guild?
Create a guild.
Yeah. There's a guild quarter up there. I know.
Anti-faction.
The what?
I mean, Kyle, you would
The
have a
anti-council
knowledge
guild.
of some guilds, and I think anyone that has previously been probably more prominently Roscoe and Kyle would have this knowledge. But you guys give me a history check, sort of see what you can remember off the top of your head. What guilds there were. Obviously, there's some typical ones you might expect, but let me know. Give me a history check. See what you
Yeah,
know.
no.
It's 13. It's 13.
Wow, Roscoe's
never
getting
mind.
undrunk.
I did too. It's a 13. Is the first one. So it's not great, but it's not bad either. It's like middle of the road.
Kyle,
I'm
the most
19.
prominent one to you is maybe like the Merchants Guild, being the market nearby, is probably the first thing that comes to mind. Francis, ones you remember that are probably of more interest to you are, while not distinctly an official guild nor a sanctioned guild, somewhere down in the roots there's the Thieves Guild. Another one that you would probably use to pass messages along, the Couriers Guild. And maybe another one that interested you was the Fortune Seekers Guild.
Yes.
Roscoe, you remember quite a few of these. You remember the Cartwrights Guild, the what else
Whatever
would you
that
know?
is.
I mean, I can
They
give
make
you some
carts.
specifics to any. The Shapers Guild, the Smiths Guild. There's a few things. This is a long way of saying there are
There's a bunch of stuff.
plentiful amount of guilds covering all sorts of industries and crafts.
Cool.
Okay.
And if there's any one of those you'd like to know more about or sort of remember more about, you can absolutely ask me. But for the time being, these are sort of the initial things that come to mind when you think of the guild
Pod's
quarter.
listening to all of this and just being like,
Would Roscoe know about the Thieves Guild? Considering he grew up in the roots, would he know?
Yeah, I mean, especially with the region you're in, you know that's a place that
Yeah.
people is both protected by them and people use to get out of that.
Got
Oh,
ya. Okay. Yeah, I think what's the Fortune Seekers one? Is that just an adventurers guild?
So
Kind of thing.
the Fortune Seekers provide a home away from home and quests to adventurers.
You see that...
I think I know what we're going to be doing for
You
next
see that
week.
Kyle is feeling really, really nervous because, you know, he doesn't like being here. And guys, why don't you just go and, you know, have some good meal and say hi to Roscoe's mom in the roots for some time? And I like it down there. It's nice. And he
Far
really
away
like
from the
squirm.
people
He tries to squirm us away. Like, you clearly can see that he's being paranoid. He's looking around. He's being really like distressed after being at the council.
It's inside check.
Inside check.
I always wanted to say that.
Yeah, Roscoe's going to do one. It will be bad.
No,
F you
I have no
guys.
idea what mine will be. I've never done one.
It's an 11. Roscoe
Oh.
knows nothing.
Yeah, you know, I'll do
Inside
one as
check.
well. I don't trust him.
Oh.
Roscoe sneezes and ignores everything he's saying.
Oh. 16.
Slash me, look us up, Jamie.
So what is it you guys are doing insight checks on?
They're doing
I
an
assume
insight
this is
check.
I assume this is
on
like Roscoe was
being
going to give
all-
answers to for some reason.
they're doing an insight check on Kyle being all nervous and shit. And what
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
'cause
about.
after-
Kyle, I'll leave that up to you, mate.
Yeah, because
It's a player decision.
But none of you guys rolled a nat 20 or a 20, which was my goal for this one. But there are clearly...
Sure, that's not how that works, but okay.
Yeah, my goal was actually 47.
Yeah.
No, you can clearly
Unless
see
you
that
get a 1
Kyle
billion, you know
is...
nothing about me.
So ever since Kyle has entered Alderheart, he's been really nervous. He doesn't like being so far high up. He made a few comments at the courthouse, the council chambers.
Mhm.
And he also made a few comments at the gates at the start. He misspoke something. The times when he gets stressed or angry, he kind of forgets who he is, which is not a good thing. But after being in the council chambers, he's more nervous because he said something that he's afraid of being recognized. This is why he wanted to get down to the roost, and that's what you guys get now. Nothing more.
Who recognizes that? Like, because
Well, I would say 15 plus.
Okay.
Yes,
Easy.
yeah. So I
Focus on
recognise. Okay. I mean, Pod was definitely more with it in the council chamber, so probably would have been more the comment about you've not changed or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. But also, Pod's just like looking around and if we could go and like, I've never been here. It would be nice to look round and see what's in the capital. Have you been here before, Featherin?
She's very quiet because she doesn't know how to tell Roscoe. So she just kind of
Aw.
nods, but she doesn't actually know what the question is.
So
Yeah,
you've been
Roscoe.
here.
Roscoe's looking
Yes,
around and
dear.
goes. Roscoe's looking around going like, "Oh, you know, I grew up here, but I never. Well, I come here once, but it wasn't very fun. So this is actually quite nice." And he's like looking around. He's like, "This is all really fancy."
Well, Roscoe, do you want to go and see some things?
Yeah.
Hey,
Also, I
well,
think-
Should we maybe? Well, we could see stuff on the way to your mum's.
Look, they have some really
Well-
nice stuff at the Canopy Market. If you guys really want to explore this place, there are
Yeah.
some really nice at the Canopy Market. We can
Yeah.
go there if we make haste.
Roscoe, I think Roscoe.
Francis squints at Kyle and goes, I think I want to see the branches.
Huh? What?
Branches.
The branches?
Roscoe squints and looks over the giant gap, and he's like,
this-
"And it just
this area
houses though."
here. Yeah, he's just trying to suss out where really he doesn't want to be. He doesn't know, but it's right here.
Just here
I
in
think-
general.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
up-
but we
up
don't know.
here.
No,
I think yeah, I think Roscoe's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of money," and he jangles his big bag for gold, and he's like,
Mm.
"I want to go find some stuff to spend with it, you know, like go buy
I
some
feel
stuff."
like we could afford to explore this entire place, really. We got weeks. Well, days.
Well, yeah, but you know, my mum does sort of maybe think that I'm dead, so I don't want to go see her today.
Yeah,
But
let's-
we could probably go market beforehand.
let's get some nice things for your mum.
When you said
That's
Mum
a
thinks
good
I'm dead, by
idea.
the way, Fevrin just flinches.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
no.
Kyle just killed Roscoe's mom, by the way, but he doesn't know it yet.
Bro, you kill my mum, I'm quitting the campaign, FYI.
So yeah, the order of things,
nicest
you want to
woman
go
on the
to
planet.
the Canopy
We
Market,
want to go
and
to the
then
candy
Yeah.
market. And
I
then
will
we'll
Roscoe's
make
remind
gonna be
all the
looking out
people that
for
have been
some
here
stuff
before.
for
There are
his
two
mum.
markets. The Canopy
Oh.
Market is obviously a more expensive market, as it's on
bitch.
the canopy.
Yeah.
The trunk also has a well-known market that more outside traders and wandering traders tend to
Oh.
visit.
Right,
I
who
will
wants to see
also
more
remind you that Eliza Pennygleam
Yes.
also set up a store that she said come back in about a day or so and she'll be ready. So
Where?
you
it's
also
been
got
about a
that
day or
as
so.
a place to. That would be in the trunk somewhere, I believe.
Her sister's. It's her
Yeah.
sister's
Yes.
store, wasn't it?
So
I
those
think-
are just some things that would be prominent on the
Yeah.
mind to anyone sort of being here. I know it's been a bit of time since we played, so
Okay.
I think they go to the Canopy Market. Roscoe looks at the first price tag he sees and goes, "Let's go to the trunk." And just turns around.
Well, Pod would she'd look around, see if there's anything like nice for her family, like any kind of
Yeah,
leather thing
sure,
for
I
her
mean-
brother, or
I'll
Ooh,
take
yeah.
you all to the Canopy Market in that case. 1 second.
Let's try out our new deceptions skills that we got, and oh yeah, let's do some haggling.
Damn, bro's
Let's-
haggling.
Let's do what I did on the first campaign, robbing the whole general store.
Bro's pulling out his Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 experience, haggling with merchants.
So let me give you a bit of a spiel here. The
Oh,
Oh
Spiegel.
damn!
in the northwest side of the canopy, you'll find the Canopy
Woo.
Market, a must-see for all visitors. The market's most notable feature is its grand open courtyard filled with stalls, tents, and tables run by traders of all sorts. The marketplace also hosts rows of established shops, some dating back to the city's founding. Whether you're looking for equipment and adventuring gear or fashions and fine foods, you'll find an astonishing selection in the Canopy Market. The shops here generally cater to those with heavy purses, stocking expensive wares imported from across Everden. Aside from the hustle and bustle of the market, this area also contains a few homes and public parks.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, there are a bounty of stalls and goody goodies, and yes, it all looks rather expensive, but of very fine quality too.
Is there any
Who
like
is so? Sorry, go on.
Kyle is looking for because he's been there before, and he's looking for someone who sells anything like rare things like relics or trinkets or something that is kind of flame-ish kind of relics things.
So you're looking for more magical types of things, or
Yeah, relics. Yeah, kind of magical.
okay? Let's have a look here.
First, trying to get that +3 sword early.
Well, I got my +3 tucked away safely, man.
Don't
You've
like
got your
that.
+3. You've got your
Don't
+3
like that.
You've got your +3
No,
nuclear
that's not
bomb
good.
hidden in Roscoe's pouch. That's what it was this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can say so, yeah.
Oh
Don't
God!
like that.
And that time on the table, so.
Roscoe's gonna
Don't like
jangle
that
his
either, so
fucking
stop
pouch,
now.
and it's gonna rip open, and there'll be a dead body inside or some shit.
Yeah, it's
Feel like someone's severed finger.
no, it's your friend's
it's all
earlobe.
of
Ray's head.
Meriden in there. It's
It's
Meriden stuffed in your
just
pouch.
Meriden. It's like a 2-inch leather pouch. She's
It's
folded 18 times.
it's actually the cat paw from Eliza.
Oh my God!
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, so you look around the marketplace, Kyle. You find a stall that's got various sort of trinkets out the front that you initially see as this is something that magical wears. This is what I'm looking for. You see sort of on the front row that you see these various crystals, orbs, rods, staves, wands, all these sorts of things you would associate with magic. Is there anything in particular you're
Yeah.
looking for?
I'm looking for anything that could have come from the Scorch Grove, like anything that could be linked to it history-wise or something like that. Because Scorch Grove is flame. I'm looking for flame-ish. Anything that might link that item to Scorch Grove or any of where it came from.
Okay, let's see. Give me a pure luck check.
You can get a Scorched Grove keyring if you're lucky.
As a D20,
I
yeah?
survived. I went to the Scorched Grove, and all I got was this stupid keyring.
All I got was this burnt keyring.
9.
A 9. Okay.
That's a
Not
D.
very
With
lucky.
that,
That's a D20,
you
yeah?
browse. Sorry.
Is it a
Yeah,
D-
just a flat
yeah,
D20.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, with a 9, no, nothing from the Scorch Grove at this particular magic stall. It's a very dangerous place to be. These items are often taken for research, so the chances of finding such a thing are incredibly slim. So nothing here from the Scorch Grove in particular.
I look towards Roscoe and say, "Hey, Roscoe," and I move up
Yeah.
a bit closer. You're from the root, so if you wanted to, catch something that you might not find here, or something that less conspicuous.
Yeah.
Where would you? Yeah, whatever you said, Jamie.
Tell us the word
yeah,
you were going for.
Yeah. So where would we? Let's say we want to look for some item that someone might have taken from the Scorch Grove, might have some link to it. Where would we go then? Because there's nothing here.
Roscoe thinks he's like, well, I mean, this stuff's mostly from the city anyway.
Is yeah.
I think if you're looking for something from afar, I mean, we might find something in the regular market in the trunk, but I mean, if it's something a bit less than
Something a little, you know,
legal, then maybe try the.
Semantics.
I mean, you could try the Thieves Guild. I mean, that's
Yeah.
down in the roots, so you could do that. But
Are you
know.
friends with the Thieves Guilds, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Roscoe does not remember at all.
And I also look at Francis. Do you think? I mean, do you think Francis could be friends with the Thieves Guilds?
Roscoe just looks at Francis and he's like, "Yeah, probably."
Well, sorry, so is eyeing, like sizing Francis up, like from this one, like maybe. Yeah, let's gather you guys and the girls up to this and head down there and see what we can find.
Does Francis hear
In the
this?
meanwhile,
Kale.
Pod,
Okay.
Yeah,
you said you were also going to look for some bits.
yeah. I'll just be looking around, just seeing if there's any kind of nice leather bits or like, because Pod's see if there's any little tiny special. I don't know, something that she just might find useful, but she'd like to get something for her brother, for his leather working, or like a leather sort of armband, or yeah.
I think Roscoe's doing the same thing for his mum. He's trying to find some weird gift.
Yeah, Kyle does the same too.
Go on.
Very good for Roscoe's mum.
Is there like an area around here that looks like I can take Roscoe away and be peaceful with him?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, as I
Damn.
mentioned in a few things, there's like a few parks and things, so you can certainly like take him to one of those somewhere nice, and you can certainly have a chat with him if you'd like to take him away for a bit of time while you're at this market.
Yeah, it's time for them to up their friendship to a new level.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah, you guys go and do that.
Roscoe's gonna
Meanwhile,
go
I
flat
will
Let me
deal
mute
with
my stream first.
Pod first of all.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do my bit when it's ready. When we're
Yeah.
ready.
Let's have a look here. So Pod, you go around looking the market stalls, and this is more for a higher, for those with heavier pockets, and whatnot. So the gifts here are maybe sort of a little bit more, a little bit more fancy, I suppose, or ostentatious. And so that sort of maybe the typical things you'd look for aren't quite so prominent, but then you do find a few things. Like there's you look through this one stall and there's a sort of this tiny bell that's engraved with almost these what look to be like thorns. And it's the type of bell that you would assume is what you would know they would probably be using the farm ward off sort of small pests. But this one is sort of like carved and crafted with this sort of fine sort of like thorns representing sort of hedge folk.
Okay.
Sort of just something from them, as they're known to be sort of communers with small critters and insects. Another thing you find that's probably quite nice is you find this sort of square of leather, and embossed onto it is sort of a bird folk claw print. And it's in like a really, really nice condition. Looks to be a quality piece of leather that could be sort of, fitted onto like almost like an apron or any kind of leather, really.
Like a patch sort of a thing.
Yeah, you could certainly use it as a patch.
Okay. I might go to the one with the tiny bell
Yes.
and talk. Who's the person? Who's the? What
The
does the person look like? Who's
the folk that you speak to is actually a hedge,
Oh,
Oh, it is a hedge.
and a hedge is a like sort of hedgehog person. a hedge named Hester Ravendown.
Oh, you're about to say Hedgie again.
Oh,
I was
the
going to
full
piss
name.
you off.
And
I
yep,
didn't even necessarily need the name, but there we go.
Hester Ravendown at your service.
Oh, I
And
love
he
it.
wears a little burlap cape and a turban.
That accent's gonna screw me over, but I'll give it a crack. Hello.
Right, nice to meet ya, little one.
Nice to meet you too. It's nice to hear that voice round here.
Oh yeah, I don't hear many of the village folk out here.
No.
Where are
it-
you from?
Oh, I'm from Meadowfen. The Rue
Oh.
family. You may not have heard of us, but
No, the opposite side from me. I was out on the out in the east by the Talongrip coast. I was
on the sea.
almost a little bit inland, but
I'd love to have seen that. Oh well.
well, how can I help you?
Oh, well, I was just looking at the things on your stall and they're really beautiful. And I do carpentry myself, and my brother's a leather worker.
Oh, he's not, is he?
Yeah, and he loves all this engraving and making things look nice and everything. And I see this tiny bell. We use them on the farm for, well, actually for scaring off critters. But
Hey.
is it got like a special meaning or?
Crap.
Oh,
Is it
well,
like-
this bell. No, I wouldn't say there's anything any special meaning behind it. I suppose we Edge have a way of talking with little critters and well, we like we talk with them and we can get what they're saying and we can just kind of chat with them when they're say excuse me,
And
mate,
she's
we're trying to
conscious
eat
of
these.
you. So
Sorry, go on.
excited, and she like tries to eke the cricket out from in her little cloak, and she like holds it out on her hand, like really expectantly, like, can you talk to him?
Oh, you got a little filler.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
well, he doesn't actually have a name, but can you?
Got a little feller.
Cricket is his name.
well, he hasn't got, and he just hangs about with you, does he? Oh, that's a bit strange for a cricket. That is.
Is it? Oh,
They normally hop off.
well, I mean, he's very nice, and he sort of not talks to me, but I can't understand what he's saying. He chirps a lot, but he's really good at conveying what he means, and yeah, he just sticks with me. He's like my little buddy.
Conveying what he means. Have you spent a lot of time with Edge like me then, or?
No, I found him. I went for a walk in the forest, and Pod's suddenly going, "Oh, I probably shouldn't say everything." but she's like,
Oh, and he just stumbled out in front of you and hang about, did he? Oh,
Yeah,
you must have a Cormin presence and all that.
Corbin.
"That's nice," and she
Oh.
blushes a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, that's
All
nice."
right, well
Meanwhile,
let me see if I can glean what he's saying. Let me find out his name for you.
oh, that'd be really nice. Thank you.
And yeah, the hedge begins to make sort of these different gestures and sort of makes these different sort of squeaks towards this thing, towards the cricket. The sort of almost sort of furrows his brow, and the cricket sort of looks like chirps back to him eagerly. But yeah, it's sort of like the guy gets a bit of frustration on his face. He's like, sort of tries again, sort of like does these sort of different gestures, and I can tell he's trying to talk to me, but I don't quite understand him.
Oh,
I this ain't happened before.
oh, oh. Maybe he talks a different language.
Well,
I don't know.
normally
Maybe he's
it's
just got a
more
different
of a
type of cricket.
He's a Scotch cricket, that's why.
Yeah, he's got a different dialect.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about dialect.
Normally these kinds of things are picked up on a bit of instinct and
Oh,
well, that and just a bit of a natural understanding of one another. But yeah, I can't seem to Oh, I can see he's trying. I mean, look at him. And yeah, like he's chirping away and being hey, he's an incredibly emotive little fella. He is. I've never seen a
really is.
cricket act like that before.
He's
We
trying to
played,
explain
we
everything
played
that
hide
happened
and
so
seek
far.
last night. That was-
Hide and seek with the cricket. You're having me on.
no,
You're pulling my pizzle, yeah. Just...
You're
No.
you're tugging on my spine. You played.
That's disgusting.
It's a common hedgehog saying. You're tugging on my
Okay, buddy.
spine.
She
You're
tug on my spine
you're
till I
pulling on
quill.
me spine. You played hide and seek with him. No way.
no, no. Well, maybe one day I'll find someone who can talk to him. Her, them. He's very chatty though, isn't he? Them, aren't they? This is confusing. I'm going to call him him.
Yeah, he's an odd one. I mean, when I talk with them, they normally say a few words and a few things, but he's jumping about, he's chirping, he's throwing his arms left, right, here and there. He's incredibly active. Well, you've cared for this little fellow well, you have.
Oh, thank you. Very special. And she like puts him. I don't know if he's given up by now. Also, I've had my hand out in real life, and it kind of aches.
Is there any way I can understand what the cricket is saying? Because I have
you tell me, bro. Do you have
Oh,
are accomplished at saying what someone wants or needs to hear? So you're good at talking. That is not good at understanding necessarily.
It's
Yeah.
not good at listening.
You
or
can
understanding.
convince people of stuff.
I
You
kind of
can't
regret
really
that
just...
I didn't take the trait where I could touch something I could understand them. Shit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Well, to be fair, I don't think I trust
cricket
Kyle knowing what the fuck
aside,
he's
you
saying.
wanted this bell, did you?
Well, I just does it mean anything special or do anything interesting?
well, as I was saying about us being able to talk to all the little critters and things, it's mainly just we normally ask them nicely to excuse me, mate, you're chewing my plant there, you are, and I plan to grow that. Could you walk on over that plant over there? And we normally ask them nicely, but we know not all the folk of the wood can do that, so we made these bells. They get used in farming to, as I'm sure you know, they get used to drive away some of the pests. But I thought I'd engrave some of a little bit of the old hedge in us to remind folk of what we can do. So no, aside from the crafting, I wouldn't say there's anything particularly special, but it'd certainly make a nice gift for someone.
Very beautiful. How much is it?
Oh well, it's only a small little bell, so I suppose
10 million gold.
Yeah.
now 100 gold
Oh, Jesus.
for this.
It's a knick-knack.
For this, I could probably part with it for about. Let me look up D&D prices for things.
Is this thing worth like 500 beers?
Just so I don't screw up pricings for you all.
Yeah.
No.
Beers are very cheap. Everything else is incredibly expensive, is what I found out.
You know, beer's a beer. Beer is very common. This is a nicely crafted piece of.
Me when health potions are 50
equipment.
gold pieces, and a beer's 3 copper. Inflation's a
Well,
bitch, am I right, ladies and
I
gentlemen?
Yeah.
could part with this for about. I tell you what, you've brought over a pretty good story. How about we say 3 gold pieces?
Yes, please. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
How about 1 gold piece?
I thought you are not here. You were looking for
He's
magical
looking at some other
things,
junk.
my good
This is
sir.
hard.
You are looking for other
Kyle
things.
appears out of the mist to haggle.
Yeah, behind the hedge's shoulder. How about 2?
Kyle
about 1
bursts
gold?
into
And
into
also,
a
just
cloud of
FYI,
feathers
I have
and
charm
appears.
person should I want.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. Fucking Kyle just appearing to haggle with people unnecessarily is my new
All right. Well,
headcanon.
yeah. Would you like a? Is this a gift for a friend or family or
It's
lover? I can
it's
wrap it real
oh,
nice.
it's for my twin brother. Yes,
All
please.
right, I can wrap it. Do you want me to label it for him?
Or a lover.
Yes, she says, just checking.
So not lover then.
His name is Ost.
Ost?
Ost, all right.
O-S-T.
Ost?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put
Cheese?
that down. Ost.
Some-
There we go.
You named your brother
Ross?
Cheese?
All right, there you go. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't catch your name, miss.
Oh, my name's Podadai Rue. Everyone calls me Pod. Well, they all call me Pod. No, everyone calls me Pod.
Well, Pod, it was nice meeting you.
It was really nice meeting you.
And it was
Thank
nice meeting you too, Mr. Cricket.
Chippy, 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 chippy.
Oh my god.
Go on, say hello. He's sitting cross-legged with his
That quickly
Yeah.
is gonna be fuming like, hear what I'm saying!
I
I've
was
got
really
speak with
hoping that guy
animals,
would be
but it
able
has
to
not
speak
occurred
with it
to
and
me.
would just lose his mind because it's a fey creature.
Yeah.
his head explodes.
Yeah.
He's like, hello there, pop.
Oh,
Oh
podcast.
no, horrors beyond my comprehension.
I need a Yorkshire person in a Call of Cthulhu
Oh
game now.
no.
Is there
Oh no, me Lord Cthulhu, hello there.
is there
Yeah.
anything that they are selling like any hoods or like a hood, like a
Well, I'll
cloak hood
jump
thing?
over to Featherin and
Oh,
Roscoe
sorry, yeah.
for a little bit now.
That's
as,
my inventory. Hang on.
They add a little the name of this thing, if you would
Yep.
like a name for it, is
Tinkerbell.
is
That's a
a
bell.
I've got here Hedgekin Burrow Bell.
Oh, that's
Oh.
so cute. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's a good
Or
name.
it would be a Hedgefolk Burrow Bell, rather.
Oh, not Hedgekin. I liked Hedgekin. Hedge.
A tiny
Burrow.
brass
A
burrow
bell that
bell's a
jingles
great name.
softly when buried near a field, warding off pests.
When
When you
buried
bury
near
it.
a field.
Yeah, this one in particular, you bury near the field, and it will just.
Meriden.
I love weird
Jeremy,
magic
a
bullshit.
question
That's
regarding
great.
that bell. It's used to scare away crows. Would that work on the Corvum?
It's small critters and pests.
Small critters and pests.
It's not people who look like critters. Or
I'm not
act like
people.
them.
I'm a bloody bird.
If it did,
You
you'd
are
be
not
a-
afraid of this bell because it does not affect.
You can RP that you're scared of the
Corvum.
bell, but it's not. gonna
Anyway.
The cricket's
mechanically
not afraid of
force
it
you to be
either.
scared.
So.
Meanwhile, jumping
wonder why
over
that
from
is.
there, the camera, if this were a movie, pans over to a nearby park in the
Where
canopy.
Roscoe is lovingly picking flowers for his mother.
And Fender is
Well, yeah,
jumping
Roscoe
across the
is-
field.
picking flowers for his mother while Featherin is trying to find a moment to break this piece of conversation with him. So I suppose we go there.
I think every time Featherin tries to go, Mr. Servant, and bring up the point, he's like, oh, look at that! And he runs over and finds another nice flower and adds it to a growing bouquet that he's making.
Oh.
Yeah, so Feverin is just like, so, your mum likes flowers?
Well,
Yeah.
she is my mum, and she likes lots of things, so I thought flowers would be nice. He's just making a big bouquet, and he's like, and I wanted to say hello to her and say thank you for, not being mad that I fucked off for a year and didn't really say much. And he's just sort of,
Flowers might do the trick.
yeah,
Speaking of flowers and having meanings,
yeah.
I have to tell you
Best for
something,
open
Mr.
funeral.
Servaday.
Oh, okay.
Now-
Okay.
Oh no.
This is going to be unsettling for you, but as your
Okay.
friend, I thought
Yeah.
it wise that I speak to you about it sooner rather than later, and I wanted you to
Okay.
hear it from me and not anybody else.
Okay. All right. And Roscoe looks down at his flowers and goes, "Oh, do you think my mum won't like the flowers?" He sort of looks worriedly at the flowers and goes, "Well, I could change them, I guess, but I've spent a little while. I mean, there's some over there." He starts walking over to a new set of flowers to
I know these guys.
restart the bouquet.
She just pulls him away from the flowers and just says, Mr. Servaday, listen, this is
Yeah.
important.
Okay, sorry,
This
boss.
is really important.
Sort of just stands still. Just goes, "Yep, all right, yep."
Your friend not friend.
No.
They found her in not the most desirable of states. Unfortunately, she has
What was it,
passed. They found her, and she was unfortunately not with us anymore. Now, I don't know what happened because I know Pod mentions that they tied her up. I didn't see that part neither. One can assume Pod wouldn't lie about that. So I'm not sure what happened, but yes, that's the unfortunate truth.
Yeah, I think Roscoe looks very sort of confused for a minute and is sort of just taking it in a bit. And so where did she go? Where you said she went? Where did she go? She passed by you going somewhere. It is clearly
No,
trying to avoid the question.
I know this isn't not the news that you want. I know. But please know that this wasn't an easy thing for me to say.
So,
But she's not with us anymore, Mr. Severday.
but were you there though? When you tied her up and with Pod and all that, right? And
I
then
I didn't see them tie her up, so I'm not. I
oh,
didn't see that bit.
okay.
But
Ah, the drama.
I was that's a question for Pod or Die, and I'm sure Pod would happily answer it for you.
She nods
She
a little.
actually overheard the conversation with the guards. I think she said the guards. I was quite shocked when she told me the news, so you'll have to forgive me. But I think Pod or Die is going to be your best. They don't know. Like she didn't overhear what happened. She just overheard his death.
Oh, God. Well, all right. Well, that's okay. And I think he sort of like looks very. He sort of goes from like being how he was, like running around picking flowers and stuff, to just sort of just standing there, just like staring off into the distance a bit.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we should still pick flowers for your mother. I think that she would like that. I think we should try to grieve appropriately whilst still continuing with what we are here to do, which is to see your mother and calm her of your presence so that she knows that you are alive and well. At least somebody can have some good news about life today.
Yeah. All right. I think he just gives a little nod and will hand her the bouquet he made for his mother, and then just say to her, "Do you mind if I go and find some flowers for Frey?
Of
I'll
course.
only be a minute." And I think he walks off just a little bit, maybe around a tree or a bush, in this park, and sort of kneels down to pick up some flowers, and they're not pretty flowers. They look a bit damaged, a little bit roughed up. Um, they're not perfect, but I think he sort of looks down at them and takes the brooch out of his pocket and sort of looks at it and gives a minute to cry a little, but not. Don't think he realizes he's doing it. I think he just sort of is giving himself a moment to feel uh, it all, and then he finishes sort of rubbing his finger along the brooch, puts it into his bag, and then sort of takes out his little knife, cuts the flowers, and makes a small bouquet. And then, yeah, I think he sort of stands up and just silently makes his way back over to Featherin, nods at her, and then sort of makes his way back to the market, and goes and finds the rest.
There you go. And
Fucking
Fiverin's just
kill
following, watching, and making sure that he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from his reaction, he is like, yeah, he's a bit. He clearly looks sort of empty in this, like just very sort of sad in this moment. But I think he's trying to put on that brave face. So like as he comes out of the sort of the little park with Featherin, and she would see this change instantly, where he goes from sort of looking at the ground and sort of 1,000 yards stare to the second he sees the rest of them and they're in the market again, he sort of puts a smile on his face and starts like laughing a little and pretending him and Featherin are having a nice joke or something, and then he goes back and sort of is all smiles and fake happiness in that way, and just tries to push through it.
With that, I suppose the one person we haven't heard from yet, Francis. Is there anything you're doing while you're up in this
Yeah.
up in this canopy market?
First thing I want to know is this the market? Is this where it happened?
This one is not where it happened.
Okay. Yeah, I think then he would probably just wander around looking for stalls that sell quote cool shit.
Gonna need a bit more info than that, bud.
Okay.
What is cool shit?
Either a clothing store or anything. Again, he would probably just be looking for clothing or trinkets.
Clothing or trinkets? Okay. Well, you tell me. Is it clothing or is
Okay,
it trinkets
clothing.
you're looking for? Okay.
Clothing store.
What kind
Alright.
of clothing are you in particular looking for? There's certainly a few tailors here.
lingerie for Roscoe's mom. Sorry.
Dang. He got your ass, Chief.
Francis
Sorry,
is looking
man.
for
It's
Primark.
over for you, dog.
Damn, he
That's
made a your mom
wild.
joke. It's so over.
No, I think first, and haha, get fucked Kyle stealing your idea, but he sort of realizes that maybe he'd be just a bit sneakier if his bright orange head wasn't on display all the time, so he's looking for like a cloak or something.
Yeah, you can certainly find like a nice cloak. I mean, again, up here being nicer. Certainly these high quality cloaks, like not just like, poorly patched or poorly stitched. These are like fine pieces of like, there's like these silk cloths that are more for like warmer weathers, that are just like a light thing to put over the top to keep the sun off. There are these more flashier pieces, sort of bright blues, bright greens that sort of fit in with the heraldry of Alderheart itself. Yeah, there's a wide range of all sort of cloaks and fine hoods you could certainly put your hands on.
Okay. He's gonna look for one that's comfy, darker in color, and specifically no bird symbolery on it. I mean, no, not wind touched, whatever they're called.
I tell you what, how about you have this discussion with someone about what you're looking for, as my father is calling me on the phone right now. I will be one moment. Discuss trends with each other, I don't know.
So,
and
Francis,
after
you
that,
looking for something?
Hello?
You looking for
Yeah,
something
yeah.
here, Francis?
oh yeah, just looking for
Not
something
too
to
much,
cover.
just...
Mute yourself, Jamie. Mute
got
yourself,
something
Jamie. Mute.
Someone spam me chat, mute. Hang on, let's
Um,
spam me chat.
Nothing crazy.
This man.
I'm
yeah,
gonna force mute this man real quick.
Yeah, I'm just looking for something to cover me up a bit better, because I got this little orange thing going on sometimes.
Oh yeah.
All of the
That sticks
times,
out.
kind of. Yeah. So I think sometimes when I'm hiding, yeah, I'm a bit visible.
Mm.
I'm looking for something in that direction.
Yeah, so I clear know my way around, and this is something you, Francis, noticed that I know my way around this market because
Oh yeah, especially
Yeah.
because I'm keeping a closer eye on you now.
So, well, I would go to this store because I have some fine darker color, like dark, like silkish. It doesn't make any noise. Perfect for you, right? You want to sneak around a bit, mention those map packs a bit more. This one looks nice, and I hold up like this really dark, matte, non-glinty silk cape. With like,
Francis looks at it. He kind of feels it, and then he looks at you and goes, "Oh, thank you for your input, Mr. Kyle. It really means a lot." And then he puts it back and takes out a really dark blue one instead.
well, I mean, it's a suggestion. Well, if you want any of this, I can talk to the merchant. I mean,
I'll
see if
talk
we
to the merchant myself. Thank you.
All right. Just trying to help.
In fact, and do not take this the wrong way, but I would prefer it if you pop down, actually, when I'm talking. In fact, not interject at all. In fact, if you could make yourself as quiet as a prairie mouse, that'd be ideal, Mr. Kyle. You really are, sweetheart.
Well, that's fine. I'll be next in line because I'm gonna buy one too. So you
What?
first.
That's fine. Feel free to wait in queue and haggle your own prices down.
I was gonna haggle anything, Francis. But sure, yeah, you go ahead.
He does not believe you.
Well, I don't know what you're on about, Francis, but it's I see you as a good friend, and I never will go
And
around this
you
place.
as well. It's just that it doesn't always happen, but sometimes your haggles have a tendency to backfire, and I really want this cake.
Not these two flirting in D&D yet again. No.
You
Oh,
can't stop it. It's really inevitable right now. There's three
Right in
things in
front
life
of
that
your
are inevitable:
boyfriend.
death, taxes, and those two fucking flirting.
We're not flirting. In fact, Francis is being quite passive aggressive here.
It's being really
Yeah, that's
aggressive.
what the flirting
Kyle
is.
is like, well, Kyle, first,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I said anything wrong. I mean, you're capable of doing this yourself. I'll be enjoying myself a second in line and be amused to see. Yeah, let's have a sort of competitions. Let's see who can get the best prize. A bit of a competition between friends.
He looks at the clock and then he looks at the clock and then he looks at the shopkeep and goes, If I set my heart out to it, I could probably haggle this down to free.
Would it be poor gaming if Jamie isn't back yet?
Just steal it and have the clock now.
Right, we can all agree before Jamie gets back. You steal the cloak, it works. Bing,
Yes,
bang, bosh.
thank you.
Plus 3 cloak.
And the
Your
cloak has a
armor
plus
class is now
11.
50.
It
Yes,
has plus
your armor class
11
is
in
now
stealth.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Plus
51.
11 in stealth, plus 50 AC. You're good, man.
Yeah.
End game item. Let's go. It's actually worth 2 billion gold pieces.
And after that, I do want to go
Is Jamie talking? Because I see him talking on Twitch and stream, but it doesn't. That doesn't.
Oh, he is in fact force muted in the Discord course.
Hello, Jamie.
Yeah.
Wait, did
Hello,
it mute
Jimmy.
me? Did it?
No,
force
we
me?
muted
We
you.
heard it all, buddy.
muted you
I
because you were
pressed mute
fully
on
talking.
everything, and my mic
No,
was
you were
still playing
fully
on
talking.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you were
That is so
fully
funny.
talking, big
What
dog.
do you
Bro,
mean
I
by
pressed mute on my
nothing
OBS,
crazy
I
going
pressed
on,
mute on my
Jamie?
Discord.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
You were fully
So,
everything just
give a bit of
confused me
an
right
insight,
now.
Jamie. Me and Francis have a bit of a
Yes.
competition going on to see who can
No, we
haggle
don't.
the best
He's-
prize.
Yeah, you
Okay,
do.
so what actually happened? I discussed getting a cloak. What are you looking for? Basically, any kind of cloak of fine quality you can imagine is here.
Yeah, so quick rundown. Francis got in line, Kael just jumps Kieran by appearing behind him. He
He's
goes,
walking.
and then Francis went, "Look, I respect you, Kael, but pipe the fuck down, please, because I do not need you to yap in my ear and trying to haggle the price down while I'm doing this."
So a bit of
And
a
then-
less aggressive roundup. Kyle, since Kyle knows
Mm-hmm.
his way around, he was just going to point him to the right direction. You passive aggressive fox.
Yeah, Francis is being really passive aggressive with Kael. There's a
Yeah,
little bit of flirting
That's
in
not
there,
anything wrong, yeah.
apparently.
I'll
Okay.
yank your tail.
That, and then Kael proposed a
Friendly
no.
competition.
Yeah, competition if you can get haggled on the most. And Francis just said, I'm not haggling, but I can assure you if I set my heart out to it, I could get this for free. And he wasn't talking about haggling.
I can get it for
Right.
250 then.
I go back to my question. What kind of cloak have you discussed that
E-
you're
e-
going for?
Pretty
Yes,
sure it was a nice blue one, wasn't it?
yeah, is there like a dark blue one? Matte, not shiny. Doesn't have to be silk, because silk is expensive and Francis is broke, but I'll take a silk one if I can.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say there is, you know, fashion is certainly a thing that is prominent in the canopy, and you certainly find something matching that description, made of, you know, you're not going to find really cheap quality stuff up here, but you can certainly find like sort of typical clothing versus, you know, not everything is going to be a noble's outfit, right? And so say you find this sort of dark blue traveler's cloak, comes in, you have a chat with the person behind, sort of, you know, if I'm just wanting the cloak, how much is that going to be? And that would round off to a typical pricing. Looking at this being, you know, a bit more of an outgoing outfit, you're probably looking at about 2 gold pieces for this cloak.
Perfect. Can I try to haggle for one?
Sure. Give me a persuasion check to try and haggle for one.
23.
23. What is it you say, Francis?
Oh, well, this ain't precisely the shade I'm looking for. And now this is high quality. Do not get me wrong, mister. But I think that it's not exactly what I'm looking for. And I don't quite like the patterns on it. I like, and there's
It's a
nothing
blank
in your
coat.
there's nothing in your catalog that I really see that I'd like. So, listen, can you do? And
Well,
yeah,
by all
see,
means, my good sir, we could certainly craft you something of more
No, see-
to your refined taste, if you would so want it, so wish it.
No. See, here's the other thing. I did just donate most of my funds to the victims of the Scorch Cone. Look, can we just get this? Can we just drop a gold piece? Now I'm sure.
I
that
recently donated all
quality
my
is your-
money to orphans.
You got a
So
23. I
I
can't
need a
argue with
good
you. You've already
deal.
made the roll. You've already made the roll.
And considering,
You've
just
already
how high
made the
quality your
roll.
okay, how high quality your pieces are.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sure you get enough money.
Well,
I'm sure you can afford to drop
yes,
a gold.
I'm sure for if it's just the cloak you're after, I think I can settle for a gold, and for such a well-spirited gentleman such as yourself, I'm sure I can. Yes, we'll call it 1 gold.
Well, perfect. You are an absolute sweetheart.
Oh my god.
And I hand him the gold, and then I hand him hand him a gold as a tip, and I walk off. I go, "That's
So
one
you
gold
give him
for
2
Kyle."
anyway.
Yeah, and I just go, "There we go. It's 50% off, Mr. Kyle. Do better than that."
Well, let's see if I
That's
can do
so
more
good.
then, Mr. Francis.
Oh
Do
my
I
God.
recognize this merchant, Jamie?
Absolutely not.
All right, so he's so he's a new guy. So how are the stand looking? It's like well stocked, or it's like how is he? Because I've been observing the two talk now. So how would I assess the merchant? Desperate, greedy. He has a well stocked merchant stand, or is like really poorly stocked, or you know, is he real?
I mean, to be up on the canopy alone means he's doing well. I would say, you know, he's got a good steady supply of, well, just on range, he's got a whole varied supply of vestments from more simple things to more outgoing things. So, you would surmise that he's doing well if he supplies this range of things.
All right. So seeing that I doesn't recognize him, I would assume that he doesn't recognize me either.
Certainly, you can assume he doesn't.
Hmm. Well, good day to you, fine merchant. My name is Kyle. I'm not gonna ask for your name because my DM is gonna go nuts on me.
Greetings, Kyle. What can I help you with today? What pieces are you looking for? Looking for a whole do-over? Looking for just the cherry on the top, so to speak?
You say a whole do-over. Do I look this bad? Do I look like out of place? If I do, please let me know.
You're browsing through a tailor, my good sir, and don't get me wrong. You are refinedly dressed, but we're always looking for something new. I can see you've got it in your eye.
So what do you have to offer me then? Look, I'm not gonna lie. We are a group of friends who has been helping out the High Council a bit. We've been donating some funds to the Lost Grove Fund, as my dear Francis here mentioned. But we're looking to look more well established, And the moment I walked in here, I saw your stand right away. You, sir, have the most established stand there is. It really caught my eye. So what do you have to offer me? I'm looking for something to, hide my head. Basically. Anything with
well, let's have a see here. You've got a nice overcoat with black and the purple trims. You've got and he sort of starts looking you up and down, sort of inspecting your outfit here and there, sort of sizing you up. It's like, oh yes, well I think we have quite the thing. If it's, I would say the one thing, while you do have a rather good sheen to your plumage, one could finish it up with top it off with a nice hat, or perhaps if you're looking for a whole outfit change to spruce yourself up, we could certainly go for a whole do over. Looking at, and this strig, he sort of resembles that of like a snowy owl. Is sort of looking around you, looking up and down, and he's like, yes, we could tighten this up here, and I think a nice belt would go well with this, and yes, I could certainly do your full outfit. I'm thinking of, you seem to be, your whole outfit just screams to me of a certain level of pleasure in your personal life, and you're clearly one of bardic nature with those instruments you carry. So how about something more to perhaps come off a little more ostentatious, a little bit more over the top, sort of bring out some of those purples you've got there.
I like over the top. I like it. So, present me what you might think is over the top for me, and I will assess if I believe it's all over the top on me. I would like to dive into your thoughts, sir, my good sir. So I'm basically looking for like any items that has plus to anything, if it's possible, if it has that, or anything that might hide my identity.
I wouldn't say there's anything like looking here that's going to give you any bonuses per se, but there's certainly things that could get you more refined in terms of D&D mechanics and things. There's certainly like nobles outfits you could purchase here, and this is sort of the thing he's describing would bring out that sort of more, that expensive taste, would make you look much more refined. Though your outfit is rather outgoing as is, it could certainly, again, he promises to sort of improve upon that, and that would, hold status among certain crowds.
Well, good sir, I would go for the most out of the. When people see me, I want them to look at me in awe. I am quite a famous bard. I've been around for a lot of years, every tavern there is, and I like to spin a good tale about, good people like you amongst them. And, when I do speak a good tale of good merchant, they actually get a lot of more sales. I've heard it in the past. So let's work together and make something that I can show off and tell me that this nice outfit was made by you.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. And then he lists off all these sort of different things. It would essentially be an upgrade to your current tier of clothing. Would say your current tier is sort of adventurers, or maybe let's see what you're at. You sort of got travelers outfits. I'd say you're probably wearing some like a courtier's outfit right now in terms of class. These things are typically worth 30 gold in total. What this guy is proposing would cost nearer the sort of between the high 70s to 100 gold.
So a tad bit more than 2.
So a tad
Yeah.
bit more than just a general cloak. Yes, he's on about if you're looking to overhaul everything and the work involved, it would be around that much.
So, dear good sir, let's talk
But
about
it would
price.
come with everything. It would come with like this. It would come with a doublet. It would come with a cloak, a mantle that you could wrap over a shoulder. These really nice gloves, like breeches, sash, boots, like everything, and even some like smaller pieces of jewelry to top things off.
Tell me, my good sir, let's talk about price. How much are you looking to you know, to alleviate me from all of this?
Well, if you're looking for something off the shelf, I could probably find you something around the 75 gold region, or if you'd like it more tailored, more of a personal approach to you, would be looking at say closer to the 100 region.
So, what's the name of your stand there, good sir?
My stat. Oh
Yeah.
well, I'm the proud owner of
What's his name, Jamie? What's his name?
Rose Wings
Clothing.
Tailory.
Rose. Oh, there you go.
So, how about this, dear Mr. Rosewing, as I assume your name is? How about we struck a deal right here right now? I'm a bard. I do deals like this all the time because I do bring people business. I bring them a good business. I did a song about our group at the tavern at the Roots. Was it at the Roots? Forgot.
No, it was in the trunk.
The
It was in the trunk.
The drunk, yeah. So I had a good. We filled the tavern at the trunk to the brim, and the tavern keep was quite happy with us. I was wondering if you could strike the same deal. I think that looking around your elaborate stall, my fingers is tracing the goods, like really like making it look good, and like
I
stress
gotta
is it.
solicit this man.
Hmm?
Oh, what he's trying to do is trying to get a brand sponsorship, as far as I can
Yeah.
tell from this man. He's trying to get free shit for a brand sponsor deal.
So I believe it's fate who's brought us together here, because I do like your outfit. I do like it really good. I was thinking I can write a quad, a bardic tale about your stall. Not about your stall, but you as a person. I want people to come here and experience you. You spin a good tale yourself. You clearly know how to read people. You can assess them correctly. And yeah, I would love to work with you on this one. What do you say, good sir?
Give me a persuasion check and we'll see what he says.
Fuck me if I fail on this one.
Persuade your way into a brand deal, bro. Do it.
Oh, not
get
the 20!
NordVPN to sponsor us.
28.
Not a fucking chance. You got a nat 20 on the brand sponsorship deal.
Got a nat 20 as well. Oh my god.
It's a nat 20, dog. You have to.
Okay. So yeah, with that, he's sort of listening to what you're saying. He's sort of already looking at you and sort of
Teething.
the various instruments you carry. He spotted you out as a bard. He's like, Yes, well, I suppose a bit of advertisement here and there wouldn't be a bad thing, perchance. And if it's about my skills, then who am I to put down a song?
Mm.
Okay, well, I can't offer my services for nothing. There's quite a hefty cost going into this, but I could certainly subsidize the cost. Mm, shall we say? Is it you're looking for something tailored and custom, or are you looking for something off the shelf?
Well, I would be robbing you completely off. I said with a bit of a snark, like, hey, no, we like become best buddies. I don't want to rob you completely off because the work you do is quite important, and I do know. Well, look at you stand. You put great pride in your work, as anyone of your stature would do. I'm looking at
Yes, thank
something
you, thank you.
that wouldn't take too much of your time. I mean, something that does fits me right off the rack, but with few adjustment makes me look finer, I guess.
Well, certainly, I off the rack does not mean not unfitting. I could certainly measure and size it up for you specifically. Yes, if it's something off the shelf, we can certainly handle that. Let's say, how does 30 gold sound?
How about this, good sir? We do 25 gold. I take 5 gold, so we say 30 gold. I give you 25, and the rest of the 5 golds I give to the poor funds of the homeless, and I add it into my bardic tale.
The
How about the
homeless
great
don't tend to
Rosemary?
be good customers, so how about 30?
Well, that's a really good deal,
Poor
sir.
people don't concern me. They don't buy my things.
Well, one thing you need to keep in mind, that good sir, is that poor people try to reach around everywhere, and they tend to spread rumors. But 30 gold is an extremely good deal. But I will still sing the great tale of the honorable Mr. Rosewing in every tavern I go to, and spread your name around for this deal. And I give him 30 gold, and I check his hand.
Great. Yeah, and he will sort of get the relevant finery off the shelf for you, size it up, spend a bit of time, making it fit right for you. And yeah, you get you can give yourself a noble's outfit.
Is that a thing I can drag into my
It
inventory?
should be something you can drag into your inventory, yes.
Let's see.
It'll be
I truly love that Kyle won that by like a few percent that he got off during the haggle.
We're not done yet, James.
No, I'm not done yet.
Are
Hang
we
on.
not done yet? Are we not done yet? Shall we move on?
I can't find it.
Shall we move on from the hour-long haggle session we've just had?
No,
Okay,
so
I'm turning to Francis. I'm turning to Francis and say,
Wait.
Okay.
Because I want to do something while you're haggling and he's distracted.
Is he trying to? Are you trying to rob the dude? to
May I
gold?
try and steal precisely 1 gold back?
Off of him
Wherever he fucking put
what
it.
the frick?
on his person
Fuck.
in the middle of a market.
Very
you can absolutely
publicly.
do that if that's what you want to do.
Bro's gonna lose this haggle fucking session
No.
and also go to
Okay,
jail.
Fine. And this is a question for Odin. May I try and steal 1 gold off you?
I mean, you can try.
I will try. I will not try. It's 10.
You will fail.
I
Fail
see
miserably.
friends closing in on me, and I turn around. So, Francis, tell you what. It's not about winning. It's about fashion.
Oh, yeah, sure. And because I call that fashion. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I consider that you
Bell
won
is getting
this.
fitted for the next 2 hours.
You won this round, Francis, but I won the fashion round, and I swag away.
I then look confused because I most definitely didn't win, but
He
I'm
lost.
sure I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
he very much
I'm sure
did
I'm
lose.
not gonna. I'm sure I'm not gonna tell him that.
Kyle didn't even realize he won that situation and just thought it was better
Well,
because we got fashion.
One can say he won with a bigger discount, but between
Yeah.
the two of them, one of them spent 30 gold and one of them spent 1. So
Yeah, 2 actually.
I can't find it in the item list. Where is
I
it?
will see if I can.
I love how he fully spent basically the entirety of what he got from that bandit camp raid.
If it's not
on
coming up, just
a
add it to
new
your inventory
outfit.
as a thing. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. It might not be a like specific item or set thing.
I can just add it as a.
So just
manual.
add it to your
Yeah,
inventory.
yeah.
Right. With that, what is the plan for everyone else?
I mean, I think the next plan was Roscoe's mum, wasn't it?
What? That's not the
Going
same.
going to see her, as in going to her house.
Bro, she's gonna love me.
Feather
as
in
well.
You
anything?
filthy fucking people.
He's
Honestly.
Pod's just going to be like taking in all the sights and maybe asking questions about what things are while they're going down the trunk and trying to like ignore the hype generally.
I think Roscoe's sticking very close to Featherin, and is sort of like, is just sort of like pretending to be happy with the rest of the group, but it's just sort of like in those moments where no one else is looking, he'll just like look a bit sad, but like keep trying to put on a brave face for Featherin.
Yeah. Oh. You see Kyle is jumping off and is glide down to the bottom.
Mate leaps off he just fully like dives
Assassin's
off the
Creed.
side of the tree.
I'll see you down
Yeah.
there! Ah, with my new clothing, I just swoop down.
Oh no, his nice fancy new hat flies away.
I
and
will
it-
remind you, Kyle, the route you can, glide from parts of the canopy to other parts of the canopy into parts of the trunk. You can't glide underground,
Oh.
he
Fuck.
glides directly into the dirt.
as Roscoe's home is in the roots of
Well,
the tree.
I would
which
clearly land
are
on the platform
literally-
now and meet them further down.
That's
I
totally
also-
fine. I just
I
wanted
also
to make
love how
sure you
he's
know
doing
you
that,
can't
not
fly
knowing where
underground.
Roscoe's house is.
Yes,
He's
there's
just-
also that factor.
He's
That's
just
because Kyle has
flying
never been
towards the ground.
Kyle has never been that far down before. So he would know.
That's incredible. Well, he also wouldn't know because it's Roscoe's mum's house, and why would he know where she is?
Oh. Hi, stepson.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer.
Wait a minute. Why did Kyle fly all the way to my mum's house? How did he know where she lived?
I mean, I'm gonna be fast. Just take your time.
Oh,
Honestly.
I'm just gonna
Good
stop it right there.
Easy.
It's got like
Yeah.
PhD 18 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie's getting all flustered, poor guy.
I'm getting
Jamie's getting
I'm
demonetized.
Twitch community standards have just muted my account. Yeah,
Got
but
him.
so just heading to Roscoe's mum's house, is it, gang?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you taking the
Roscoe-
lift
Roscoe
down, or are
was
you
going to mention...
the long
Yeah.
winding walk to the bottom of
think-
the trunk?
I'd
I
like to
think
take
the
the
lift.
long winded walk.
Yeah, if you
Let's
wanna
take
go
the long
along with it,
winding
yeah.
walk. If
Yeah,
you're
no,
taking
will
the
you
long
glide me down
winding
there?
walk, then this is
I'm
what
not
you
sure
would
if I'm
see
able
as
to.
we go through various levels of
I'm
the
Happy to try.
trunk here. Let me just.
No.
So you've seen the bottom level of the trunk, as that's
Yep.
where you guys came in your first visit before grabbing an elevator or a lift up. But I will show you the trunk is made up of a
Oh, wow, okay.
spiraling branch
Bennett.
called the mainstay branch. And this
Okay.
is sort of the core branch that runs throughout the trunk and spirals up into the
Oh
canopy.
my god.
Yeah, look at the
Um,
size. Yeah,
give
zoom
me
out.
I
just
I
a
zoomed out and was
second.
very surprised.
Oh, frick.
Fucking hell.
Going through the trunk, there are sort of a few key areas of it which I'm sure someone would bring up. Some of you would each know sort of different things about it, but it's split up into a few different areas. The entry junction is where you came in, and that's one of the more recent additions to the trunk, and it sort of acts as a place that allows travelers and whatnot to come in and out of the city. But as well as the entry junction, you have a few different bits. sort of in that entry junction, you've got a museum of Alderheart. You've got the ruins of Bramblewell, which is sort of this old town that used to be there.
Mm.
Towards the starting from the top, then why not? Or moving to the top, which would be the top level at the top left. You would sort of come down this route that leads to these branches in the trunk, which lead to an area called the Golden Stair, and that is sort of this winding branch that loops around the mainstay branch. And if you look to the bottom right of the map, you'll see an area called the Bright Hollows or the Shining Pool Plaza, and that's sort of they're two in one really. If you take the Golden Road, this leads to sort of this subsect of the trunk known as the Shining Pool Plaza, which its key feature is this shining pool that it has in its plaza. Going further down to the mid-level of the trunk, the most notable thing there is the trunk market, which is, as you can imagine, a market in the trunk. This
Really?
this particular market wraps around a column of the Evertree, which goes through the center of it, and supports sort of this this mainstay branch and sort of the other areas around it. Also within there are the sort of Shapers Guild and the merchant and the old Merchants Guild housing, which is no longer used, as well as this cut off on a small sort of dead end of a branch is the Tenders HQ, where the aforementioned tenders that the council brought up, and sort of a group reasonably well known in the wood that fight off the Scorched Grove and research into it, have their headquarters based. You also have an area known as the Warrens, which is it's sort of the largest residential district in the trunk, and is what most Orderites think of when they picture trunk level living. It's a district full of smaller tunnels that branch off from the mainstay branch road, and some of them taper off into dead ends while others connect with each other. And the sort of busiest and most puzzle-like area of this is known as the Wend, which cuts through the mainstay branch road into the Warrens district, and even sort of running alongside the market branches, although no particular branch sort of connects up to this outside of the three sort of thicker offcuts of branch that lead into it. You also have the mainstay residences, which sort of houses along either side of the mainstay branch that you walk down. But going into that, you guys walk down these various routes, and it takes a fair bit of time. This tree is a few miles tall, so climbing down it is a considerable amount of time, but it's not a difficult feat either. And eventually, you make yourselves, you make yourselves down towards the roots, which
their roots on fire.
Which there are sort of two prominent areas of that are mainly inhabited. You've got the Underfall and the Root Braid. And Roscoe, this is probably something you explain to the rest of the party. The Underfall is the largest district in the Roots, and thanks to its central location, it serves as a hub from which the other districts fan out like spokes on a wheel. Major roads like the mainstay end here, giving way to tunnels called routeways. They're generally narrower than the tunnels in the trunk level, and some of them are shaped into the Evertree's roots, while others are dug through soil. And the smallest routeways provide useful shortcuts across the district for those who know their way around. And the area that Roscoe's mother lives in is known as the Root Braid. And how much of this information Roscoe shares, or sort of leave up to you to decide. But
I think he gives them like the tourism chat basically, and he's like, "Yeah, this is where that is. This is all this. Don't go there. That's a bit rough. Over here is quite nice." He just sort of like does that
It's
general thing
a
of like when you're showing your friends around your home.
it's a cheerful little neighborhood, but yes, Roscoe would know that it's here where they're protected by members of the Thieves Guild, and anyone that um harms or gives trouble to members of the Root Braid, the Thieves Guild also sort of offers protection for as well. So um it's sort of one of the safest places you can be in
Yeah.
the Roots. And with that, Pod, you mentioned this hall that sort of got these bones around it.
Yeah, Pod's a bit concerned.
And that is known as something called the Root Braid Hall, and that is alongside the residential homes and a few small shops. The heart of the Root Braid is a hall made from lacquered carapaces of giant insects.
Ooh.
The building is large and has an iron bell atop a tower at its center. Here, residents meet regularly to discuss with their official representatives, and the hall is used to hold community events like dances, holiday celebrations, activities, and games. Tenders also teach the children about nature and the benefits of alderite fungi in the hall.
Mhm.
And grot
There's a
kenners from
fungi in
across
the
the
hall?
Roots also gather here,
Hey.
sharing tales with each other and anyone else who cares to listen.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You
Yeah, I think
guys
Roscoe
continue
sort
on
of
your way.
shows them about, and then sort of takes them down a very dingy-looking alley, and comes to the door of an unreasonably small house for a man of Roscoe's size. It does not look like he should live here under any circumstances, and yet he does. And Roscoe sort of just like knocks on the door, and you can already tell that there's going to be some work that goes into getting him into the door, considering he is about twice the size of it. But he he waits patiently at the door and has the sort of flowers sort of behind his back, ready to surprise his mother.
Feverin is stood directly next to him.
Pod is like hiding a bit round a corner.
Give
Yeah,
me just a
Francis is right
second.
behind him.
I'm grabbing
Um,
your guys'
Kyle is
turns.
walking in his noble outfit, like he owns the place.
Yeah,
just trying to
Roscoe has
sign.
been keeping an eye on everyone, considering he has come down here in a well-tailored suit, basically, into the slum. So Roscoe's keeping an eye out for thieving.
Brilliant.
Demons.
I have a strong eye on Francis. I know what to do.
I mean,
know.
Roscoe, if there's a time that you've ever wanted to make up some things about your local area, now's probably a good time to fill the air.
Yeah. I think like there's quite a few like it's a very tight knit community. I think Roscoe knows a lot of the people here because they don't really leave. It's like especially the alley that he sort of brought everyone down is very much like an old person neighborhood almost.
Aw.
It's like a family of like old people who like have kids that don't live with them anymore basically. And I think he's sort of like I think he knows who's sort of watching out for them. Like he'll know a few of the members of the Thieves Guild or whatever who are like just regular people that he sort of knows from growing up here, and he'll like give them a nod or like give them a little thing and just wave them off to like, hey, maybe don't steal from these people who are with me,
Okay.
or something like that. But yeah, he sort of like shows them about, and there's not many shops. I don't think. I think it's mostly a residential thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the odd stall, like a shop maybe, but yeah, it's definitely not like affluent in those sorts of
Yeah.
things.
So I think he's sort of just like showing them about, and it's basically like imagine you brought all your city friends, and like something to like a small village of old people. Basically, is what he's doing. So he's just sort of showing them about, and like I think Roscoe like comes out with these stories of like, yeah, I fell over there once and I nearly died, but it was quite funny. He just sort of like comes out with these stories of growing up here and what he got up to. And then
Yeah.
knocks on the door and waits for his mother to open the door.
yeah, and you sort of the house you see, it's not the largest of the houses uh in the routes, but none of them are particularly large anyway. Sort of down the route braid, there's a lot of these more spherical shaped houses that are sort of easier to fit into nooks of the tunnels, and just make it a bit easier to work with in terms of, um, just chucking any old thing up to give it some cover and call it a home. But
Yeah.
this is a pretty nice place. It's not that it's you know completely downtrodden. There are
Yeah.
certainly worse places to live, but it's just definitely a bit cramped, is all. Um,
I think
with
part of
that-
his house is like built into the roots as well, like into like the the dirt and the rock of like
yeah, definitely.
the
That's
wall.
very much the nature of it down here. And yeah, you knock on the door. The door opens. You see this servant, this elderly servant. Which Sco! Oh, and she runs up and gives you a hug, and then gestures you all inside. And yeah, this is the sort of house you see.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit large on the scale, but
I
for the
look at
sake of
Roscoe. I look at Roscoe's mom. I'm like, huh.
yeah,
Good
she
woman.
like comparative to Roscoe, your
she's
mother is quite
very
short, right?
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's. I think if Roscoe is like a good 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever, like she's probably like 5 foot something. Like she's pretty short
Oh wow.
compared. It's like she's a servant, but she's not like built like Roscoe is. She is like quite a short one. She looks more like a doe almost. Like
Oh, okay.
so it's
Well, Mrs. Servday.
it's very like yeah. It's he's sort of standing there, and then I think he sort of gives her the flowers, and then he
Oh.
sort of runs down the line. He's like, yeah, so these are my friends, mum. She's
My baby, the little charmer you are. Look at you.
and he sort of got a little grin on his face. And she's like fully like pinching his cheek and like doing that, and he's like, yeah, well, this is the Bosch, my friend Feathering. This is Feathering. Sort of gestures to her.
Hello. And she sort of like does a small respectful bow.
Oh, lovely to meet you. Oh my goodness, my baby's got friends, and he's friends with a well-respected bird folk nonetheless. Oh,
I
and
approach the Servday and I say, Mrs. Servday, my name is Kyle. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Kyle, lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
So Roscoe
is
here
she-
has been
Little
making sure
little
that-
miss, what is your name? And she rushes over to Pod.
Kyle is
My,
walks
my
a bit away.
name's Podded Diver. Very nice to meet you. I do like your house. It's very cozy.
Oh, thank you. I try. And you, Mister, please, Mister.
oh, this is Francis.
Oh,
He,
but howdy there. You have such a lovely house, Miss Servaday. Oh, or is it Mrs. No, such a lovely house, Miss Servaday.
oh god.
Listen, I have the same to forward, but you have raised an absolutely amazing son. He is. I think he's the best of us all. Would you all agree?
Oh, yeah.
She, as you say that, she starts to tear up and sort of puts a hand on his shoulder. And goes, I'm very proud of my baby. I know he's had his problems, but he's a good man. He's a good man.
I think Roscoe like gives her a little.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, thanks, mum, and
He's
he
a good
like
sir man. He's a good sir
goes,
man.
Though
goes
Sir
to busy
Roscoe
himself.
is a rock in the group. You can trust that he's always does the right thing and he does protect us indeed.
Yeah, I think Roscoe's like very busy himself, like cleaning up the table or something like that. Like he doesn't want to hear all these compliments, so he's sitting here like
Aw.
trying to busy himself.
Please come in. Make yourselves at home. Or do anyone like a tea or?
Oh, Roscoe, do you
What
play
do
D
you
and D? Look at this.
Yes, I would absolutely love a tea.
I haven't
Thank
had a tea in a very long time.
Oh, yeah, well, oh yes, I'll put a fresh batch on right away.
Hey, Roscoe, I didn't know your mom did D&D. And I look at the table.
Oh yeah, look.
Yeah.
She have like, a group session every week or something. They're not even-
Yeah, she does it with the old people in the village.
It's actually Hearths and Humans. It's this fantasy
Yeah.
game about these people
Yeah.
that walk upright and are featherless.
These weird featherless apes.
Yeah, they have these. They have like they have these weird sort of 5-digited hands that don't have any claws or any plumage or any sort of paw pads or any of the like. And they got these weird sort of like their claws are these flat nails that don't protrude very
Ooh, I'm
much.
gonna play a
They
female nerd.
It's all very sci-fi.
That is
Oh
definitely
yes,
Oh,
well,
back in the
I've
middle of
got
that
to
board.
entertain the children somehow when they visit, so I like to keep them busy. Nothing like creative arts.
Roscoe's mum being a dungeon master for a bunch of youths is the funniest shit on the planet. Oh my god. Yeah, I think Roscoe is like he goes over, and I think he genuinely goes to possibly the smallest bed in the room, which is like it's and he just sort of like just is tidying it up a bit because he left in such a hurry the night before and is just sort of like putting some of his stuff down. And yeah, sort of making himself at home again.
Feverin's gonna wander over to the mum and ask, might I assist you here, dear?
Oh no, please, just get comfortable. Any friend of Roscoe's is considered family here. Please, just sit yourself down, enjoy, relax. Roscoe ran off in a mighty hurry last night, and I'm sure you all have a story to tell, and that you're mighty tired. Oh, this adventuring life, it makes me worry for him, and oh.
Don't worry,
seems
miss.
very
I will be
kind
looking
of
after our friend well. But thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, and she brings out a tray of teas and puts them all down around the center table, and sort of just scoots from aside. She doesn't want to disrupt the previous state of play. Just moves the hips out. Oh, sorry,
I'll take
I
over
hope
the
you don't
session
mind.
from
It's
now.
a bit- Oh, you know how to play, do you?
Let's have a game.
Okay, so you're all in the small town, and there's a fire. It's too real. It's too real.
In a place called a pub, right?
Yeah, you start off. You wake up in a pub.
A sort of
Whoa.
sci-fi version of a tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I love that they've done
Assuming-
that. I love that is what
That's
is in the middle
funny.
of the sale.
That's great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Have you got anything in particular you want to discuss or bring to point, or?
I think Roscoe is like just telling his mum about what happened, so she doesn't worry, and is just like, yeah, well, there was a bandit attack on the north gate, and we went to help out. We managed to push them off, and then the guards asked if we'd come and help them, so we went with them and found the camp, and we dealt with everything, and you'll never guess who was there. It was and he gets a bit sad for a minute, and he goes, if Frey was with them, but they arrested her, and yeah, I mean, we're all right. We got paid for it and everything by the guards, and they seemed to be happy enough with it. And then we went to to go speak to the council again. So they said we got a few days, and then we're going to come back to them, and they'll have a job for us or something. So yeah. Sort of just like
Baby hired by the council. I'm so proud. She gets teary-eyed again.
Aw.
Just, nope, I can't keep embarrassing you in front of your friends. Oh.
Well, you sure have made a fine piece on of this guy, Mrs. Everyday.
This guy is trying to get on his good side.
crying. He's kissing ass like it's never been kissed.
Like, I was not being nice now for once because his mom is hot.
Yeah, because you killed his friend. Yeah.
Nah, it was part of the day. She robbed her.
Uh-huh,
Oh,
yeah.
dear.
Yeah, I think Roscoe sort of is like, just sort of sitting there chatting with his mum a little bit, but then he's also like, he's doing that thing that you do when your friends are at your house. It's kind of weird, so you're like cleaning up and like sort of being mum yourself to like keep the house clean and
Your
tidy.
mum's going,
But like,
what are you doing?
yeah, but like you're just he's sort of like doing jobs that he
manners
wouldn't
maketh
normally
the
do.
man, Roscoe. Come on.
Yeah, he wouldn't normally do it, so he's like
Gonna say.
cleaning up everything and sorting stuff out.
I think Pod would have noticed. She would have definitely noticed the tenders HQ on the way down, and then I don't know if there was a sign outside the Reap Raid Hall, or kind of like you said that the tenders give talks there.
Yeah, they would
And-
occasionally come down to sort of
Okay.
teach younger folk, and maybe even some of the older folk
So
that
if, does
turn
Pod
up.
know that, or would Pod? would
That
Roscoe
might be
maybe-
something. Assuming Roscoe shared that sort of thing, that they have those
Yeah.
talks. I would say, give me
Yeah.
just a moment to look up this division of people. No, I don't need that. I don't need that. There is a particular bit about this. I've got too many pages in there. Stations. Is it that? No.
I actually thought Roscoe's mom was a kangaroo. That's why I was confused. It's been a
Oh.
weird
Yeah,
mix-up.
top half of that does look a little kangaroo-y.
Yeah, I
What's
was
that
like,
Your
character,
mic's
by the way?
doing that thing
Roscoe's
again.
mom being hot on a kangaroo or something. That would explain how Roscoe is what it is. You're saying.
Some very nice looking cushions on these beds.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this bit. I had it and I lost it. Yes. So the tenders in the roots. Tenders also teach the children about nature and the benefits of alderite fungi in the hall.
There's a fun guy
Maybe-
in the hall.
Maybe it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
something Roscoe mentioned offhand, but if it's something you ask
Okay.
about, you can certainly learn a little bit more if that's what you'd like
Yeah.
to know.
Mrs. What is your name? I'm so sorry, Mrs. Roscoe.
Oh, sorry. Dolores. Oh, I always get carried away with myself. Dolores Servadai.
Hello, Dolores. I was wondering, you know the talks that the tenders give in the Reap Raid Hall? Roscoe mentioned them.
Oh
is there
yes,
one
they.
coming up soon, or
Well, I'd have to ask. I'm not too sure myself right now. My there are normally some time to time, but I can't say I would know offhand. I haven't had the children stay with me for quite some time, so it may be best to check in at the hall, or you can always visit the tenders. They're always open for visiting up in the trunk.
whoa. And she kind of says this to the table, like just saying, well, it might be an idea to go there because, well, they're the people trying to solve the problem of the fire. So it'd be worth a visit, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, Pod. I like that.
Silence from everybody else.
Come on, guys, wake up! I
Yeah, I
know
was
that
muted,
Roscoe's
sorry.
mom is.
You know, I think Roscoe nods along. He's like, yeah, well, you know, I think if we're trying to talk to them about what they're doing for everything and finding out more, it's probably best to go straight to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And would Roscoe know of anything else in the routes? Like, we know the Thieves Guilds down here. Would he know where they're sort of situated?
I would say your dealings were more with sort of the likes of obviously the bandit coalition being more of a part of them.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe their HQ you wouldn't know. You would maybe know how to
Du kan
spot
prate
someone
om det i
who
morgen,
is a member of the
Halvor.
Thieves
Hva er det?
Guild, but where they operate from, I'd say you probably don't know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Roscoe, I
that's
think,
one
just
shot.
sort of like offhandedly mentions while his mother is distracted cooking something or something. He's like, "Well, I mean, I don't really know where they're based, but we could try and find some of the Thieves Guild lot and talk to them about something if we need to. If we have anything we need to get. But it's just, it's something we can do. Would Roscoe know if there's other like districts in the routes? Like there's other places
Yeah.
to.
So I'll take us back to the map, and for the sake of this, I will just reveal it all because you will certainly know of all the areas. Whether you visited all of them or not is another thing, but you'll certainly be aware of them all. So let me take you back. Oh, yeah, let me move. Yeah, thank you.
Zoom out.
Ah,
Hey,
Oh,
look at
damn.
that
Now-
thing. Woo.
Oh, damn.
Oh my word.
Yes.
Cluster's
So
coil is crazy.
Well, the
There
places
are-
is for the raid parties. Unts.
there are a few areas to the routes. Initially, the root braid and the underfall, but there's an area called Cutter's Coil, which leads into wilder places, and then east of the underfall you have Pesselhaven, and to the northwest you have an outpost and perch guard Jiao as well.
Oh.
Cutter's Coil is typically a place of well, it's the deepest official district in the city. The neighborhood is a winding tunnel that spirals down into the lowest parts of the routes, and folks here live in homes made from packed, dried earth. Besides cave guiding, jobs here are hard to come by, and most residents commute higher up the tree each day to work. The district gets its name from a Corvam hunter named Cutter Quickwit, who first explored the area. She's something of a folk hero. Tales of her adventures in the deep caves are recounted by grot kenners all over the routes,
Pig bear
and
buggers.
children often play Cutter Catcher, which is a chasing game played in total darkness. Beyond Cutter's Coil, unexplored tunnels branch out into innumerable pathways leading to wilder places, and these are areas of the routes that aren't inhabited by folk. In the deep darkness below Cutter's Coil, fungus fields create pockets of wilderness within unending tunnels, and these spaces are home to giant insect nymphs and other burrowing creatures. Though many of these tunnels have yet to be explored, the tales told by those who venture downward tell of strange creatures yet unknown to the surface world. While it's possible there are rare magical reagents and other useful medicines within the wild tunnels, rumors of monsters have kept the lowest reaches from being fully explored. There are no maps, and what's worse, minerals in the soil make most compasses useless. Nobody's sure how these tunnels actually go, but should you wish to delve into them, you'd be sure to pack a good amount of supplies for your journey and hire a guide. Pesselhaven, off to the east. Let me find that.
Raven is such a nice name.
Is a more recent addition to Orderheart. About 50 songs ago, so about 50 years ago, the agricultural district of Pesselhaven was established off a large routeway to the east. This was a municipal project intended to provide root dwellers with work through community fungus farms and increase threadgrass production. Threadgrass grows symbiotically with the evertree as beds of white, thread-like fungi. Though it resembles grass, threadgrass is actually the visible part of a huge fungus that extends far outside of the tree. In Song 723, avium alchemists discovered that threadgrass could be used as a potent reagent in healing tinctures, alleviating everything from stomach pain to headaches. The tough threadgrass must be pounded in a pestle and mortar before it can be used this way. But there were issues with Pesselhaven as well. Though Pesselhaven was a very successful project initially, but due to its popularity how common and easy it was to farm this thread grass. Many of the farmers farming this caused a drop in price of the product, and after some years, many of the plots were abandoned and left unattended for decades since there was no profit to be made. And now these fungal farms have turned more into fungal jungles and are home to dangerous creatures and hazardous invasive fungi, which pose a risk to people in the area, which is why people don't tend to go there anymore.
Sorry, but fungal jungle is the best thing I've ever
Fungal
heard.
jungle.
Unfamiliar fumble.
Yeah.
There are now fungal creatures in the fungal jungle.
Yeah, a bit of a spiel, but there is a lot going on in this
cool.
city. But yeah, that's what Roscoe. That's the general story given. You would know that about the city, this being a place you grew up.
I think Roscoe has probably spent some time in Cutter's Coil, and like most of his time was spent in Root Braid and the Underfall. I think he probably wouldn't have been to Pesselhaven because it's just abandoned farms. Like there's not really, like I think that he probably. I think at one point he, like as a child, he wandered into the like pretty early stages of the wilder places and was quickly like caught and ushered back into the Underfall, so he didn't go and wander off into the fucking darkness and die. But yeah, I think he just sort of tells them about everywhere and sort of explains what the routes are like. So if anyone wants to go anywhere, they can,
Ooh.
Great. I mean, if nothing else is to be done today, we'll assume that Dolores Servadai offers up her residence for you all to stay. There were only 4 beds, but she assures you it's not a problem and begins pulling out
it's not a problem
bedrolls
indeed, no.
and the such.
No.
Should you choose to stay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be nice to have a cozy.
Great. Yeah, I mean, you guys have your rest. You can take a long rest if you need to take a long rest. I don't think you guys have used up
done
any
anything?
No,
resources
we've
for
done
today.
nothing.
We'll sort of
Hangovers are cured.
flash forward a few days, like imagine a few days are going by as we're covering things throughout here. Is there anything anyone's wanting to do around the city? Places I know a couple of you mentioned earlier going to the Tenders HQ or meeting with the Tenders in some degree. I don't know if anyone's looking to go anywhere specific, find anything specific, visit Elisa, look for specific shops.
Oh yeah.
Go to
I mean, I think the
I don't
three
know.
that I think the 3 would be Tenders, Elisa, and like the Adventurers Guild to go see what shit they have.
Adventurers Guild.
Kyle will be walking around since he has a new noble outfit. He can now move more freely around in the top, the top branch, and most of the listening around at the rumors, anything that might caught a glimpse in his ears about the Scorch Grove or like rumors in generals, because after the records they made at the council, they're bound to be something on the top on the top level.
Okay. I think with the time we've got left, I don't want to really delve into anything too particular. All of these things are quite they're going to be information heavy.
Yeah.
They're going to take some time. So
let's
I think
burn
we call it here, and you guys can sort of really get to sort of think about what the sorts of things you want to ask these different organizations, figure out the things you want to do. But I've definitely noted down. I got Tenders HQ. I've got the Explorers Guild or whatever.
Me actually wants to go exploring so badly, but Pod would be like, "Yeah, I'm good."
We had, what was that other guild?
Adventurers Guild.
It was called something though, isn't it? It was
the Fortune Seekers.
Fortune Seekers.
Fortune Seekers. That's it.
Fortune Seekers.
And if we need to send messages, there's the Couriers Guild.
Lisa.
Under Lisa, I have.
Emporium.
It would be maybe handy to have like a bag of holding or something useful like that. So I don't know if that's worth going, seeing if there's a magic-y type.
Yeah,
shop
like go
or
into,
something like that.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the pod
Is
knows
there
what a bag of holding is, but you know, above the table, that might not be a bad shout.
anything else, Fedrin, Francis? Have you guys got anything in particular you want to look into going through this sort of few days to week of downtime?
No, we've
Uh,
covered the basics.
I think Fevrin will just be any sort of like uh foliage and plant matter.
Oh.
She'll just be, wandering around, sort of getting the lay of the land, the feel of the land, if you will, just to try and suss out like the safety of the place currently, and what's been going on. She just wants to feel what this place was like. Obviously Roscoe's a like very good friend of hers, so she just kind of wants to get to know the area a bit more because of that, really. Like, just yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Kyle wanna do one thing. He wants to have a
Mm.
long chat with Roscoe's mom. And hang on,
Uh-oh.
don't think dirty now. I'm not gonna kill her, I'm not gonna think, but Kyle is interesting about learning about his weaknesses.
Oh, of course he
Ooh.
is. The weakness. You already killed her, mate.
No, I want to learn more about Roscoe, his strengths, his secrets, his weaknesses. I want to learn more about Roscoe.
Okay.
Trying to get my mum to rat on me.
No, she's not gonna know it. She's gonna talk like,
Yeah.
well, he did pee in the back garden. He was a kid. He liked to run around naked, like things like that. That would be like anything that
Just
would give
shit
Roscoe away.
Oh,
Fully
boy, they all like
Roscoe
to run
about.
around naked.
I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
I think if that's is there like, Jamie, would you want like a mechanical thing for that, or do you think that like, I mean, I could.
No,
literally-
there will be various things that are going to. All of these things are going to be RP things we go through. So I just wanted to get a
Cool.
list of things. You know, this is
Yeah.
downtime. You know, sometimes this is mechanical stuff. Sometimes this is information gathering, which is what I
Mhm.
felt you guys were going to do more in this downtime was
Yeah.
research
Yeah.
what the flip is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think
want a new outfit. I'm happy.
he just wants his new clothes. That's all he wanted. I think like my main things are going to be researching stuff, maybe talking to some of the bandit prisoners.
Mm.
Obviously, the most important one is dead, but
Oh,
but we
Oh
could.
my god, I
we
just
could
realized
sort-
Francis is the only one who doesn't know.
Yeah, Francis
Oh,
is the only one who
yeah.
doesn't know he's dead. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh! I can
R.I.P.
use
buddy.
that.
He won't care that much.
Yeah, he won't actually. But anyway, yeah. But it would be. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and with that, I guess we'll bring this session to a close. If there's anything
Yeah.
else you guys think of
Hey.
throughout the week, have a chat with each other, or feel free to DM me and ask questions, and we can just give me time to figure things
Well,
out.
yeah,
But yes,
it's our turn to do.
Alderheart is called the Great Tree City for a reason, and there is a great many things I have to prepare for. So any
many.
heads
Hell
up
yeah.
will be much appreciated.
Nah,
for what you
This
guys
was
are
our
interested
I don't
first
in.
like that.
Hey, Jamie,
official.
Pookie, if you want people to go to certain cool places, tell us. We'll go
Tell
there.
us.
No. There are absolutely an incredible number of things you guys can be doing here.
Oh wow.
And you
okay.
are certainly exploring. You always that meeting with the council. I did not expect to go that way, and all
Ooh,
sorts.
I didn't
So it's
expect
very
that.
interesting.
I don't like her. I
What
think
did
she's a
you
bitch.
Yeah, no, she is a bit of a bitch. To be fair, the council lady comes off
Yeah,
as one. She
flip
might
that
not be,
bitch. Nah, she is.
but you know,
Oh,
What did you
Kyle
expect to
knows she
happen,
is.
Jamie?
literally the
No,
president.
you guys. It's just interesting. I won't say anything because it would tip you off to story beats and whatnot.
Oh,
but yeah.
okay.
I like
yeah.
how you guys got more access into Kyle's, who he might be or might be not. Like the
Yeah,
inside
like,
roll.
It's just suspicion, but yeah.
The inside roll wing. That's a low blow.
I mean, I didn't really need it, but I thought I'd do it just to
Yeah. It was good because I want you guys to like learn more about Kyle.
Let's
His
have
pod-
a
pod
big
was
a
up on the
big shout
wall
out
when-
to Hester Ravendown and Baron
Yes,
Rosewing from
obviously.
our shops today.
Yes. Well
Oh,
done.
hang on.
Good naming.
I ChatGPT'd a quad of the Rosewing the Unrivaled.
A what? Sorry.
A quad, a bardic tail. Hang on.
Bard.
Let us do like a sponsored segments by Rosewing.
What's Rosewing?
Sponsors.
What the
Up.
heck is Rosewing?
Ever feel like a thief is trying to root through your coin purse? Well, much like leaving your coin purse unsealed for a thief, browsing the internet without a VPN is much the same. That's why I use NordVPN.
I'm more of a
We can't actually do NordVPN ads. Don't
See,
know who we are.
I heard if you force the ad, you just get that collab, so that'd be
Amazing.
Yeah,
quite
you just
interesting.
get a
But
sponsorship. that's
I
crazy.
did actually make a bardic tail of Rosewing in case I had to perform it.
That's so funny.
Let me bring you guys
Rosewing.
story.
I'm so confused what Rosewing is.
Rosewing?
It's the fucking brand
Rosewing was
sponsorship
the
bloke.
name of it was the surname of the tailor.
I got like a 40
Oh,
gold
yeah.
discount, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, ready.
Yep.
Up
How
on the
long is it?
boughs where nobles tread, through Older's halls where whispers spread. A master's hand, both swift and keen, weaves fate itself in gold and green. No common thread, no careless seam, but garments spun for finest dream. When lords and ladies seek their grace, it's Rosewing's art they dare embrace. The warrior's cloak, the minister's sleeves, the feathered robes the kings believe. None wear the wind nor dance the light, unless they don the Rosewing's might. So let the merchants show their wares, and tradesmen boast in grand affairs. Yet when the tale of gratis spun, Rosewing's name outshines the sun.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cool.
Very
done,
nice.
ChatGPT.
Yep. Come on, I performed it good.
No, no,
Very-
okay, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
thank
that
you,
was
very,
thank you.
very nicely read. Very
you,
nicely
thank you.
performed.
Thank you.
Everyone, round of applause for chat.
Well
ChatGPT.
done. Yeah.
Well done, chat.
Oh, nice.
Come
That
on,
was
was
so
not
fun.
terrible, Shoo. Shoot. One of my viewers is.
I can't wait to meet ChatGPT in person at my nephew's graduation because he's definitely going to show up with the amount of work he's put in.
Yeah. Hopefully.
What was that? Sorry.
So I can't wait to meet ChatGPT in person when he shows up for my nephew's graduation. With the amount of work he's been putting in, he's definitely showing up.
He's part of the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was actually the first session as the tail spinners.
Yeah, it
That's true.
was.
Yeah, hoo-hoo.
Tail spinners.
Watch it.
Cow spinners. Woo! DuckTales.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just gonna
exactly what
I'm just gonna end my stream. I'm gonna raid you, Wing.
something that was, I don't know, the nephews or...
Right, guys, thank you for sticking around. I'm gonna raid my wife, Wing.
Oh.
Yeah, you're a hate
Yeah.
watcher. You love watching
What's all
hate.
this work? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, you are
So
still
let
there.
us raid my wife,
Which is
Wing.
very
She's the other
fair.
one
I'm
in
gonna head
the
out.
air.
I'm currently ordering food, so
Yeah.
Ooh,
See you
Oh,
guys
he's
tomorrow.
He's going on wrench.
Some RP
I'm
stream.
not. I'm
100%.
ordering food actually. I'm going to bed soon. I'm fucking
Bye.
tired today, man. I've got food.
That
Oh,
has
sure.
never stopped you. If I set up an
Yeah.
alarm for 3 a.m. and look at your Steam, are you going to be on wrench?
I'll be on Kingdom
Yes.
Come Deliverance at 3 a.m. is
Oh.
what I'll be on.